first down. Barrett brings a tackle into the line. Picks up a block. He's going to get in. A wide open punt and take him down.
It's time.
It says, shake hands with the person most likely to talk trash after a play.
Shake hands with the person most likely to make friends with the other team.
Shake hands with someone you think has the craziest lore. What does that even mean? I have to shake your hand.
I don't like
here.
contact.
Who will get first touchdown of the season?
Shake hands with someone who's going to get the first interception of the season. This way. Page County. Shake hands with most likely to forget their pads. Come here. Don't run away from me. Come here, Katie. Katie! Shake my hand. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. Katie. Here you go.
Hands with the person who probably got 2 hours or less of sleep last night. That's literally me.
Shake hands with the funniest person on the team.
Can't get over you.
Point proven. Shake hands with the person most likely to post a thirst trap. Where's Katie? Where's Katie? Katie Hovey! No! Hello, beautiful. Take this.
Shake hands with the person with the most teeth.
Go shake your hand. I can't get over you. Mommy. Shake hands with someone who is always early.
Shake hands with the person you're most afraid of.
All right, throw the flag or you didn't see it. Muting the team group chat.
I didn't see it.
Teammate flirts with the ref after the game.
Throw a flag. Throw a flag.
Your teammate is wearing the same socks from a rain game.
Throw a flag.
The DB celebrates after an incomplete, but the QB overthrew the ball.
Throw the flag. Multiple flags.
And wide receiver drops 3 passes and then asks for the target on the next play.
I didn't see it.
Yo, Jay, what you say?
Welcome to the Rookie Report.
All right, who am I here with?
Mary,
What year were you born?
2001. Who am I here with?
Ellie Biggins.
What year were you born?
01.
Who am I here with? Megan or Dixon? What year were you born? 1995. Who am I here with?
Big Tiff.
What year were you born?
1988.
Who am I here with?
Noble.
What year were you born?
1992.
Who am I here with?
Edie Halverson,
What year were you born?
2007.
Who am I here with? Marilla. What year were you born? 1996.
Jess.
What year were you born?
1995.
Who am I here with?
Grant Mania.
What year were you? What year were you born?
1986.
Who am I here with? Megan. What year were you born? 97. Who am I here with?
Tay.
What year were you born?
1991.
Who am I here with?
I'm Sammy Kraus.
What year were you born?
2000.
Don't look scared. Who am I here with?
Kaylee.
What year were you born?
1992.
Who am I here with?
Mac.
What year were you born?
1992.
Who am I here with?
Sierra.
What year were you born?
2002.
Who am I here with?
Mac.
Britt. What year were you born?
1990.
Who am I here with?
really old. Hi.
Who am I here with?
Taylor.
What year were you born?
2004.
You got games on your phone?
That's actually mine.
What year were you born?
1995.
Yeah, what year were you born?
1994.
Who am I here with?
Krista.
What year were you born?
1984.
How does it feel to be undefeated at this point in the season?
It's great, and I mean, the first half, I don't think we've scored that many points in the first half in a bit now, so it's fun to be a first half team. I think we've always been that second half team, so it's a good motivator to, for the rest of the season.
I've had a ton of fun, learned a lot. Can't wait to see what's yet to come, honestly. It feels good. We had a really big focus this week on coming in and cleaning things up, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and we did a really good job doing that tonight. And obviously took care of business and put up some points. So really happy with where we're at, and we got a long way to go, but we're excited.
Erin Kelly set to take the first snap of tonight's game. And she takes the snap, hands it off to Kuplik on the right-hand side. Kuplik's got a good block. She's only got one player to beat. She's to the 10. She's to the 5. Touchdown, Minnesota Vixen.
Oh my God. Do I have an actual question for the rookie report this week? No, but welcome to the rookie report.
All right, question of the week. Who do you think you could fight if you had to?
Everybody.
Square up. Yeah.
Why is your wrist like that? I don't know. What is this?
Turn them this way. Turn them this way.
This way? Yeah, like we're gonna fight right now. Oh my God.
Keep it tight to your face.
Square up. Square up.
Well, not knee pads.
Oh, she hit the...
I just have to count the right side.
Square up.
Oh, she's getting a fight.
Hey, square up.
I had a bowl of nails for breakfast this morning.
Square up. Square up.
That's...
Square up.
Hey, let's fight. Oh, right here. Oh
my God.
I have to
Square up. Square up. Square up.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Hey.
Square up. Square up.
Oh!
Okay.
Just gonna scooch in right here if you don't mind.
Give me a jab. Give me a jab. Ooh.
Okay. All right. Square up. Square up. Square up. Ooh. All right. Square up.
It's just another day at the office, Laura. It's what I expect for myself every game. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get 4, and I'm going to carry that into next week. Carry that rage.
I hear your nickname is Rampage.
Yep.
How'd you get that nickname?
Rampage comes from when I get going, there's no force that can stop me. I am the unstoppable object, and anyone who dares come near me when I am in Rampage is do that at your own risk.
All right, y'all, we just finished our 4th game of the season against the Dallas Mustangs. Such an amazing game, such an amazing team. Our fan base is such an incredible group. So many of you out here. Make sure you make it out for our last home game of the season against the Slam. Keeping that streak going, making our way to 5-0.
Welcome to Vixen Media Day.
We're passing the mic.
Oh, what are we doing?
I'm passing the mic to someone who didn't follow me back for 3 weeks on Instagram.
I'm passing the mic to a basic gay.
I'm passing the mic to someone who doesn't know the difference between right and left.
I'm passing the mic to somebody who got their shorts ripped off at practice today.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the play call was in, I knew we were getting in because our O-line and our blocking this year has been incredible. And I just had to follow my blockers. And then I saw Kinley. She had good position. Cut in on the inside, made defense come in, and just went around Kinley. She set a beautiful block multiple times that game. But yeah, it was a real easy end zone play, but it was wonderful because it was my first time actually getting into the end zone. I threw for one last year, but it was my first official touchdown.
Yeah, so what is it like having a great offensive line?
It's incredible. It's life-changing. I mean, like, literally. This game would be so difficult without the line that we have, and any success we have this year is because of our O-line, especially on the offensive side. They allow us so much opportunity to create and to just read what they can do. Just running behind them is the easiest thing in the world.
right here, all around, is football. We're all football players. Y'all are football players, okay?
Down. Good. Conceala's going to go straight ahead. Receiver caught. Touchdown. They're back by hand. What a catch. Houdini act. Sideline. She works into the tackle. There's now one
Yo, Jay, what you say?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the play call was in, I knew we were getting in because our O-line and our blocking this year has been incredible. And I just had to follow my blockers. And then I saw Kinley. She had good position, cut in on the inside, made a defense come in, and just went around Kinley. She set a beautiful block multiple times that game. But yeah, it was a real easy end zone play, but it was wonderful because it was my first time actually getting into the end zone. I threw for one last year, but it was my first official touchdown. It's incredible. It's life-changing. I mean, like, literally. This game would be so difficult without the line that we have, and any success we have this year is because of our O-line, especially on the offensive side. They allow us so much opportunity to create and to just read what they can do. Just running behind them is the easiest thing in the world. Man, I don't even know what to say about our defense. They're that good. I mean, it's been since this offseason. I knew it. They were giving us a hard time all offseason. And I knew it was going to make us better as an offense, and it definitely has. But to see them go out and shut out these teams, we are so stacked on defense and offense. But defense, we have player after athlete after athlete after athlete. And watching them has truly been it's been so much fun. Yeah, in my first few runs at running back this year, you can kind of tell where the flag brain kind of kicks in, because it's just different. Once you get around a group of people in flag, you're like, okay, I'm probably going to have my flag pulled. And you can see in a couple of runs where I just kind of freeze because I'm like, oh, I'm good. And then I'm like, well, yeah, I got to keep going. So it's definitely adjustment. Obviously, the physicality of tackle had to be learned. And last year, that was the main transition for me to learn, is my timing of my moves and everything, because it's just different. You can allow a little more time in flag. You can let them get a little bit closer because they have to break down and then pull that flag, whereas they don't have to slow down. They're coming right at you. And the timing of that is, it takes some time, but anybody who has played flag and is interested in tackle, and you want to get that physicality, I say go for it, because it's amazing. But yeah, it's definitely a transition, so give yourself some grace. Yeah. In skill positions, yeah, some things are going to translate, but come into it thinking it's a brand new sport, because it is. They're not the same sports at all. I mean, you look at what happened with the NFL guys playing against our USA national team. They got wrecked because they have spent their entire lives learning flag, and versus these other NFL guys who have spent their entire life learning tackle. And you see that obviously there's some crossover because there's a football involved, but they are two completely different games. So any expectations, just kind of put that out the door, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, obviously we won the first game, so that's always a nice confident booster for us. But going through the next games and continuing what we started, and now what we've built upon in the past 3 games after that, of course. Feeling good. I mean, our O-line's firing on all cylinders. I think they're the best O-line in the league. Our D-line is going after the quarterbacks like no other, kind of creating an uncomfortable situation for other teams. And I hope that we can just continue it through this game. And we're a lot more disciplined now. I think week 1 we were fired up, ready to go, season starting. We came out guns a-blazing. We were doing all the right things, but we weren't finishing all the plays. Now we're a lot more disciplined. We're understanding defenses a lot better. We're using what we had. We're still fired up, but now we're keeping it under control and taking it through games. I mean, it starts off with our O-line. They give me the time to read the plays, see what's going on, and the blocks to handle every situation, which is huge, and not every quarterback gets that, so I'm very, very thankful that we have them. And next, our wide receivers run crisp routes. They run them the exact same way every single time. We practice them in practice daily, and it just allows me to understand them, know exactly where they're going, know that I have the time to do it, and hopefully get them the ball when I should. Yeah, it's a huge weight off your shoulder as an offense, knowing that you can go out there and maybe things don't go right every single time, but that the defense has your back. So we can go out there, we can try some things, even maybe they don't work out. We see what's going on, see how the other team's reacting, and then we know our defense is going to go out there, hopefully shut them down. We'll come right back and use what we learned the last drive and move forward. We're in a great position. Currently in our conference, we're in second. We have Utah above us. We need to take care of business these last 2 games, and then Massey will do Massey things.
LFG 2026. Shout out to James. Yes. Yeah.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to the Women's Football Alliance Game of the Week between two American Conference regional powerhouses, the Minnesota Vixen and the St. Louis Slam. This is a rematch from week 1 of the season. I'm Brian Sweeney, joined with Dr. Berg. And Berg, we are in for a treat tonight in this rematch.
Oh, I'm really excited for this. I mean, this is two teams that have been well matched for years, who have had a bit of a rivalry, you could easily say. And we see the captains getting ready to go out on the field. And I see we have number 44, Alicia Noble, who is one of the honorary captains for this game specifically. But man, this is, St. Louis has got to bring it, and Vixen have to be ready.
Yeah, Minnesota handing St. Louis an opening weekend loss by a final score of 24-7. Minnesota's first win ever in St. Louis, and then St. Louis went on after that to defeat the Cincinnati Cougars 21-12 and the Houston Energy 21-6. Over for Minnesota, again, they opened up that season with that victory over St. Louis, and they have been dominant ever since then with a 62-20 win over the Mile High Blaze, a 56-6 win over the Houston Energy, and then on May 16th, a 58-0 win over the Dallas Elite Mustangs. Last week, of course, they were on a bye and use that time to rest up and get ready for tonight's game.
Huge scores. I mean, what a prolific offense that the Vixen has had this year. A combination of EK as quarterback, really in a veteran type groove, and an O-line that has been solidly coached and has some veterans leading the way. And then, you've got some powerhouse running backs and wide receivers to fill it out. They have just been scoring like crazy this year.
And scoring like crazy. They're not the only team in the American Conference to be scoring like crazy. Over in the Western region, the Salt Lake City Wildcats are averaging 60.2 points per game, just slightly more than Minnesota's 50 points per game. So absolutely touchdown happy over on the American Conference. In fact, teams 1, 2, and 3 are all American Conference teams with a combined total of just under 600 points for those 3 teams, with the Cali War winding out the top 3 in the American Conference. And we're going to take the coin toss now, head it down to our referee, Rick DeGardner, and find out who's going to start off this game with the ball.
Here we see St. Louis
Captains,
coming out
introduce
too,
yourselves,
and
please.
imagine we'll shake hands here, do a little high five run, as you can see. And man, I love the cowgirl hat playing
So you're
up
not
here
going to play
too.
with that, right? No. I can use it for a while if you want. I might look pretty good in that. Great game for football. Looking forward to working hard for you guys. 2 great teams, so we're looking forward for some nice football this evening. Before we get going, any questions? Again, sportsmanship's number 1. You as captains, make sure you represent your team well. You got any questions on the field, ask us in a respectful manner. We'll certainly let you make the call. Number 4, you're the spokesperson. I got a 50-cent piece. I got a head and a tail. What's your call? Tails is called. It is a head. Ball. And which way would you like to kick? You want to kick the way? So black over here, white over here, please.
So it does appear that Minnesota has won the toss and elected to defer. So the St. Louis Slam will get this game going for us on a 80-degree night here at the campus of Hamline University. Kloss Field, just west of downtown St. Paul and east of downtown Minneapolis.
Fortunately, there's a good wind here today. Because I was saying before our coin toss, when the players were warming up, I remember what it was like playing in those black jerseys, and you would not believe how hot that turf gets. The black beads, the rubber beads that make it so squishy and feel like you're on actual ground. It just gets so hot. You're ready for someone to hose down the whole field. So I imagine both teams are very grateful for the strong breeze coming through today.
And Minnesota wearing their Pride jerseys for tonight's game. Of course, Monday kicks off Pride Month. A good look at the jerseys there on the sideline. Plenty of color representing all the LGBTQ plus community. A little hard to read up here, but of course we will do our absolute best to make sure we convey all the information to the fans watching at home.
Yes, any frustration is not due to celebrating Pride so much as for us just being able to read with our aging eyes up here. And you know what, Brian? I heard a new way to say the acronym recently instead of LGBTQ plus Ligabatuk.
Ligabatuk.
Yeah.
As somebody that works in the transportation industry, we call the P park reverse neutral drive low on the shifter. We call it the Prindle. So I can work with this. Ligabatuk. I can use that.
Yes. Prindle. Oh, I'm going to remember that. That's fun.
We're all about education.
That's right. Oh, that's great.
So Minnesota getting ready to kick off the ball. Michaela Duraskova going to handle the duties for the Vixen tonight, and she has been almost perfect this season, not only with the kickoffs, but the point after attempts as well.
Yeah, I've been very impressed by her skills. I'm trying to remember if she's a rookie this year, if it's her second year, but what an impressive performance. I mean, she must have had some kind of experience before coming into this soccer. Who knows, but what an impressive player.
So as the teams get ready, 15 minutes is up on the scoreboard.
And hard to see from this camera angle, but St. Louis Slam, their returners are starting pretty deep because they know that how far she can kick the ball.
So week 6 of the Women's Football Alliance 2026 season. With the 4-0 Minnesota Vixen, the 2-1 St. Louis Slam, as the ball is the wind that you just mentioned is already playing havoc with the ball on the tee.
Yeah, I'm looking down at the sideline, some folks creating posters, and those are flying all over the place. So, you know, Michaela will have her work cut out for her here with kicking.
And the kick is off, and the game is underway. This one is going to be fielded at the 20-yard line. And let's move to her left. She's going backwards. She's going to be thrown down. So after a pickup at the 20-yard line, gets it all the way up to about the 26-yard line.
Yeah, she tried to string out that play, could tell the tacklers were in front of her, tried to string it out to the side and find some open space, and ended up going backwards, unfortunately. So the Slam will start at about the 26, 27-yard line.
So Ariana Cook on the return for the St. Louis Slam as we get an opportunity to see veteran quarterback Jamie Gall take the snap as St. Louis starts 1st and 10 from their own 27.
Yeah, Jamie Gall's been playing for quite a while and has a vibe with the St. Louis team, certainly, as well as head coach Hugh. Yeah, they do have a lot of veteranship on St. Louis.
Gall awaits the snap. Snap is up. She's going to air this one out right away. She's going to overthrow her receiver. Looks like that was once again intended for Ariana Cook, and this one's just going to be a little bit out of her reach. 2nd down, St. Louis.
I'll say, you know, bummer for the St. Louis Slam that didn't work out, but great pass coverage. That initial setup by the O-line, there was an excellent pocket for her to throw from.
Gall comes into this game 31 for 60 with a 72.4 quarterback rating. 6th best in the American Conference. 2nd down and 10. This time it's a handoff to Jada Humphrey. Humphrey on the left-hand side, and she's got nowhere to go. She's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of the yard. We'll have to see where the official spot is. Brings up 3rd down for St. Louis.
Double tackle by Tanner and Britt Peterson, both coming around from the back side. And a blocker for St. Louis trying to make that block so the runner could get around the edge, but just couldn't outpace Tanner and Peterson.
Jada Humphrey.
Red Bryant right there in the middle.
Quite the veteran for St. Louis. So 3rd down and 10.
Got a couple people looking
Gall
like
going for the hard count, trying to get Minnesota to jump. Play clock down to 5.
You can see they're showing a bit of a blitz here. We'll see how many actually end up running in.
This time Gall's going to throw it quick to her right. This one is almost intercepted by Minnesota. In and out of the hands Looks like Paige Condi was in the area there, and it's a quick 4 and out for the slam.
Yeah, I saw number 4, Candace Bosick, on the play. 3 and out. So great showing. Great start. Looks like they're going to punt now and give it back to the Vixen offense, or give it to the Vixen offense. But that's what they wanted, Brian. They got the coin toss and they said, let's give it to St. Louis's offense first. They knew that their defense could handle it.
Low snap. Kaylee Nutzling has to pick it up. She's going to have to keep the ball. She does get a kick up in the air. There is a flag on the play as well, as this one is down by St. Louis's Amanda Richardson right about the 47-yard line, and going to have to see what the flag is. But looking at what happened out our window, I'm going to say this one's going to go in favor of Minnesota.
Nutzling getting that punt off left-footed. I'm not sure that she's left-footed. She was just using her athleticism to get the ball out. And I don't know what the kind of heads-up play there was. They only needed 1 yard, I believe. What was the yardage,
It
Brian?
was 4th and 10.
4th and 10. Okay, well, then never mind. Good heads-up play.
Kicking team, number 39. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
It is going to be a penalty on the St. Louis Slam. So after a bad snap, Nutzling does get the punt off, doesn't go very far, and Minnesota's going to get some additional yardage due to the penalty. St. Louis comes into this game with only 7 penalties on the season. That's just 2.3 a game for a total of 70 yards, but they've already got 10 yards of penalties early in this first quarter with 13:36 here to go.
Not a great moralizing start for St. Louis. 3 and out, rough punt, penalty for 10 extra yards. So let's see how the offense does for the Vixen.
So Erin Kelly awaits the snap. She's got 2 receivers to her right, 2 to her left. Paige Kuplick is behind her. The handoff is to Kuplick. Kuplick's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and she's met quickly by the St. Louis defense, including Mary Altpeter.
Dang. Wow, they triggered downhill fast. I don't know if there were already blitz calls ready to go, but they were ready for that run, and the outside run the Vixen has been very strong with. And so that's their starting play here that they choose out of the gate. But, man, St. Louis was ready for that.
So loss of 1 yard on the play for Minnesota. Rushing Minnesota comes into this game 7th in the Pro Division, averaging 796 yards per game. So 2nd down and 11. This time, Kuplick straight up the middle. She's going to pick up the yardage lost last game and an additional 5, so she gains 6 on the play. Going to make it 3rd down and 4 for the Vixen.
Huge gap in the middle. Oh, my gosh. Between Sammy and Taylor Fox in the middle, it was like an arrow created up the center. And so plenty of room for Paige to run through. She is such a strong runner.
So 3rd down and a long 5 for the Minnesota Vixen. Kuplick lines up behind Kelly. Pair of receivers to her right. This time it's going to be Kuplick up the center again. She's going to get through 1 set of tackles. She's going to gain about 3 on the play. Going to be short of the 1st down, but it's going to make it 4th and manageable for Minnesota. So Minnesota electing to go for it on 4th down and 1.
Sure, why not? It's early.
And
Ooh.
they are not going to get there.
Oh.
Going to have to see where the spot is. They're going to spot it right at the 30. And St. Louis is going to take over on downs.
Well, think about it, Brian. If they're punting here, which they wouldn't do a field goal, so let's say they punt, you've got to get it short and high, and there's just not a whole lot of room for error when you're 30 yards out in this league. Ideally you could punt it, have it roll out of bounds at the 5, best case scenario. But, a typical situation, they're going to start at the 20, 25, 30-yard line anyway, so why not go for it on 4th down?
So 11:45 remaining in the first quarter. Women's Football Alliance, Week 6. St. Louis Slam at Minnesota.
St. Louis has got to be hoping that their offense can feed off of that energy that the defense just brought with some really strong tackles and reactions, and then getting the ball back for their team without the Vixen scoring on the first drive.
Gall takes the snap. She's going to throw it to her right again. Once again, this pass intended for Cook and just not in the reach of Cook. So 2nd down and 10 for St. Louis.
I got to imagine that that's a play that normally works because the same route 2 times in a row didn't connect. But I guess that's something that might work for them usually. Otherwise, I'm not sure why it would have been called again.
Second down and 10.
It is important to keep in mind that Gall is looking straight into the sun.
Gall drops back. This time it's a throw up the middle.
Oy.
And once again, she's overthrowing her receivers. Richardson, the intended target this time. A quick 3rd down for St. Louis.
You know, it's early, and I'm sure St. Louis is kind of testing the water, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. So, you know, you got to hope for their team's sake they're not getting too down about, hey, these are early calls, these are early decisions, early things not working out. There's plenty of time left in the game to figure it out and adjust.
So Humphrey to the right of Gall. 2 receivers to her left, including Carrie McMahon, who we have not had an opportunity to mention yet today. The snap is up. This time, straight up the middle. Pass caught by Brixen. Brixen's going to spin. She's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play, but it's going to make it 4th down again for the slam.
Well, that slant route, quick out of the gate. But, you know, here's the thing, Brian, is Gall has had a good pocket almost every single snap that they've had throw. I mean, look she's got time. She's got one coming in, but she had plenty of time to make that throw. And the longer throws down the field, even more time than that play. So, you know, and maybe it's just nerves. You're playing at the away, but, you know, take the time.
This time the snap is good, and Nutzling's able to get the pass off. Going to be caught by Britt Peterson. Peterson up the right-hand side. She's got good blockers. She escapes a tackle. She's got nobody in front of her other than Nutzling. Minnesota's got to get a good block here. Peterson cuts back to her left. In for the touchdown. There is a flag on the play. We'll have to see what the call is, but right now, Peterson with a 65-yard return for the touchdown.
That was crazy. That was crazy. This little fake handoff pass, a couple of jukes, and I don't know if the flag was already down because by the end of that run,
the touchdown is going to stand. So Minnesota, and I have to correct myself, it wasn't a 65-yard, it was a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown for Britt Peterson.
Brian, that was bananas. By the end of it, Britt Peterson was jogging around, just waiting to see what happened in front of them and adjusting her jog, essentially, to get in there. And I don't know if the St. Louis Slam were just in shock, like what happened, or maybe they saw a flag and thought, oh, the play's dead. But that was just wild. Well done for Britt Peterson, just using their athleticism.
Peterson's always been a joy to talk with whenever I've been on the road, meeting with other players across the country in the league. And great to see them playing for the Vixen this season.
Yeah, I know the Vixen's happy about it as well. Have watched, looks good. The extra point.
So the kick is up and is good. And just like that, with 10:34 remaining in the first quarter, Minnesota jumps out to a 7-0 lead over the St. Louis Slam.
Special teams. Oh, here we go. Great.
All right.
So you see going up, and
Did
then
you see that
Britt,
kick catch interference thing?
starts to level off, really. So she's looking to see who's coming from the slam, and then turns it down to a jog to see where is that person going, how can I use the people in front of me to block, and then just jukes it back in. I mean, just crazy. What trust in both your teammates and in your own athleticism, your own ability to figure out a play. Yeah, Britt's just an overall athlete. So to see them show out here for the Vixen after watching them for so many years play for other teams and ball out against the Vixen, I mean, this is a real sweet treat.
Well, and for Britt Peterson, who played for a team that doesn't exist anymore in the WFA and is used to being beaten by Minnesota, I'm sure it's a great feeling to actually be on the giving side of that pummeling now.
I hope so. I imagine so.
So this one's going to roll out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. So Jamie Gall, fresh set of downs. But Dr. Berg, what can St. Louis do to answer that? That just happened so fast. It really didn't give their offense a time to discuss what happened in that previous possession.
No, and there wasn't even a lot of downtime on the sidelines to analyze what just happened here. What just happened?
Kick out of bounds,
offense
kicking team.
needs to come out
Ball
with more
replaced at the
fire for
35-yard
St.
line.
Louis.
First and 10.
They've got to show up right now. They kind of look sluggish, like, you know, they're just, I mean, watching them come out of the field, like, okay, you know, we're rolling out here, let's do our thing. They got to find a groove, either do a couple hurry-up calls to throw the Vixen off their game, or find a different run play that might work. Right now they've been primarily passing, or use your time in the pocket. But the strategy needs to be more variable if they're going to find a way to move the ball against this Vixen defense that has excelled so much in the past year. Really improved.
So 1st and 10 for St. Louis. This time Humphrey lines up to the left. It's pitched to her. She drops it. She's going to have to pick it up. She's going to have to dive on it. So luckily for Jada, she's able to turn around and jump on that ball, but it's going to be a loss of almost 5 yards for St. Louis on that pitch.
Ay, Dios mío.
That's one of those instances there where Humphrey, who's almost certain to hold the ball, just quite, I don't know if maybe turned her head, started to look up before she started running, kind of like I do in golf and everything else. And
yeah, that's a good point, Brian. We need to have compassion for these athletes.
So this time, Gall's going to throw it to her right again. She's got an open receiver up in the air. And there is a flag on the play. Pass intended for Carrie McMahon as she's laying on the ground. Kind of came down hard on her back.
I did not see the penalty per se, but that was a hard landing. But you know, that's why I'm not a referee. I only have one angle here from the booth.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
It is going to be a penalty on Minnesota. Going to bring up first down, and McMahon's still laying there on the ground.
Gosh, hate to see that.
See if we can see exactly what happened here.
Much better connection. Great catch. Yeah, it looks like landing on that right side and right hip area.
So pass interference, the call, going to bring up a first down from the 50-yard line for the St. Louis Slam. St. Louis wearing the white jerseys, moving right to left across your screen. Minnesota in their black Pride emblem jerseys this evening, with Pride starting on Monday.
Some merch as well in the lobby area, some Pride merch as well and celebration.
So they're going to respot the ball. Looks like they... So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line for the St. Louis Slam. Have to wait and see if McMahon returns back to the game. This time it's another pitch to Humphrey, and she's got nowhere to go. And she's going to be taken down with forward progress, and what a great stop.
Yeah, someone missed their block big time on that play.
Jocelyn Tanner just gets through that defensive line and meets Jada Humphrey back at the 40-yard line.
Amanda Richardson, number 16. You know, they started trips left, so they had 3 receivers on the outside. And those 3 receivers, their job was not to run a route, it was to block so that they could throw the ball to the outside and run it down. But someone missed their block clearly, and Tanner just hammered inside.
So 2nd down and 16 for the St. Louis Slam. Gall takes a snap. Again to her right. She's got an open receiver, and that's McMahon, who's great to see back on the field again. She's going to turn to her right. She's going to pick up a first down, and she's going to step out of bounds, but she's going to pick up a first down for St. Louis.
Very nice play, and well done as well by McMahon to find some open space, some open grounds, pull a move, and for a second I thought she was going backwards. Wasn't sure if she was going to end up making it back upfield again, but you see she kind of cuts out and then turns the corner to turn on the jets and get as far upfield as possible.
So fresh set of downs for St. Louis. 1st and 10 from the Minnesota 27-yard line. Ball handed off to Humphrey. Humphrey going to run to her left. She's going to turn the corner. She's got a block in front of her.
Okay, was able to get enough speed to outrun those linebackers coming down. Tanner and one other that I didn't catch the number of, but a little bit more smooth on the outside there. It's a better handoff. You can see Humphrey kind of initially looks towards just the outside of the D line, and then decides to carry it further out, so is able to get a little more speed. Meanwhile, the linebackers are anticipating that she's going to stay closer to the line because of that initial look.
So 2nd down and 1. Humphrey lines up behind Gall. Trip receivers to her right. Hands it off to Humphrey again. The receivers are doing the blocking, including McMahon. Humphrey going to turn the corner on the right-hand side. She's going to escape a tackle. She's going to be pulled down, but it's going to be a fresh set of downs for St. Louis. Going to be 1st and goal from the 9.
So far, we've seen go route, corner route, post route, pretty much all to number 17, McMahon. And then we've seen Henderson in the backfield doing outside runs. So that's the bread and butter, clearly, of the St. Louis Slam. Now we're at 4 yards, so let's see what they do if they try and punch it in the middle. Right now, the O-line and D-line are pretty well matched here in the trench, with the quarterback having plenty of time, with Gall having plenty of time to throw. And the tackles aren't being made inside the line. And maybe that's intentional. You got Red Bryant and a lot of strong D linemen for the Vixen.
So 1st and goal. Gall going to throw it to her right. She's got a receiver open, up, and down. Touchdown, St. Louis. Carrie McMahon.
Solid. Okay, well, the Vixen D coordinators, they see what's up. Time to adjust, figure it out if they want to change the pace of this game. But, St. Louis has clearly shown up now, and they're ready to play.
So Kaylee Nutzling in to kick the extra point.
She's been playing a long time. My first year was, 8-9 years ago. And then
kick is up.
Solid athlete.
And it's good. So with 6:47 remaining in the first quarter, St. Louis ties Minnesota with 7. And we see another replay of McMahon going up for that touchdown. So good to see after coming down hard on her right side that landing on her left side played nothing against as she gets St. Louis on the board and ties the Vixen.
Yeah, it might have been a hip, but it was also in an area of the rib cage that it could have been a, knock the wind out of you kind of thing. Glad to see that she's back. But Nutzling's been playing for such a long time. And, one of the reasons I remember her, not only because of her number, but her hair. I am so jealous of her hair. It just flows beautifully in the wind, like Troy Polamalu in a Head & Shoulders commercial. I am just so jealous of it. But all around great athlete. So we saw her punt. We saw her do the extra point. You're going to see her on defense. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw her on offense. Just all around solid athlete.
So now for the first time today, we see Minnesota's receiving special teams on the field as St. Louis will kick off for their first time.
That was quite a pep talk there. That was probably the longest huddle by a special teams unit
Carrie
that I've
McMahon
seen.
to kick it off.
Very nice.
This one's going to be a great kick. Going to be fielded at the 5-yard line. Running up the center, turning, going to make a cut, going to escape a tackle, runs into her own teammate, and then she's going to be taken down at the 35-yard line. And Condi with a great return, and if she hadn't run into her own player there, she might have gotten at least another 10-15 yards out of that return.
Yeah, it looks like number 34, Wood, made the tackle for the St. Louis Slam.
So Minnesota, 1st and 10, only their second possession of the game, considering their points were scored on a punt return. So 1st and 10 for the Vixen from the 34-yard line. Kuplik lines up behind Kelly. 2 receivers to her left. Snap is up. She's going to hand it off to Kuplik. Kuplik's got a block on her right-hand side, and she's going to be pushed out of bounds by St. Louis's Kiana Smith, but she is going to pick up about 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5 for Minnesota.
She had to work for that. The St. Louis Slam's ready for that outside run.
Beautiful night here in St. Paul, Minnesota. A little humid, but a great night nonetheless. 2nd down and 5. Kelly under center. Radford in motion. She's going to hand it off to Radford. Radford left-hand side. She's got somebody on her ankle. She's going to get through that. She's going to be tackled real close to the 1st down. Going to have to see where they spot it. It looks like it's going to be about 3rd and a yard to go, slightly less than a yard. Great job by Ramnisha Wood of the St. Louis Slam slowing down Radford there in the backfield before she was able to turn the corner. And Nutzling in on the tackle for St. Louis. 3rd down and 1. This time, Kuplik straight up the middle. She's going to pick up a 1st down for Minnesota. Mary Altpeter for St. Louis in on the stop.
Well, that was earned. A lot of these blocks either are contested. They're quite contested. St. Louis is not making it easy to be moved. I mean, you can see the contact from here, and they're hard hits.
So fresh set of downs for Minnesota. 1st and 10 from just shy of their own 49-yard line. 4:44 remaining here in the 1st quarter. Dr. Berg with Brian Sweeney. We welcome you to the Women's Football Alliance Week 6 broadcast. St. Louis Slam currently tied with the Minnesota Vixen at 7.
Brian Sweeney, I've heard that name before.
Erin Kelly drops back. She pump fakes. This time she's going to throw it to her right. It's got nowhere to go. Coverage that time by Zaria Johnson, and the Minnesota fans, they want a flag for holding, as that pass was intended for Halverson, the tight end.
Yeah, I saw a couple of fans here stand up and throw their imaginary flags. A lot of opinions here in the crowd.
So 2nd down and 10.
It is interesting to note the difference in penalties between the Vixen and the St. Louis Slam this season.
Kelly in the I formation. Snap is up. She hands it to Kuplik. Kuplik straight up the middle. She's going to pick up 3 yards before she run into the St. Louis Slams, Jasmine Yandel. But she's going to pick up a few yards, make it 3rd and long for Minnesota from the 50.
Yeah, hard to tell if that was meant to be one of the inside gaps. I mean, it was moving to the right, generally speaking. It was right blocking play. But I mean, I'll say this St. Louis Slam team is ready for the run game, and they're here to make a tackle.
So 3rd and 8 for Minnesota from midfield.
Oh, we got a towel down. Get out of here.
Kelly waits the snap. Snap is up. This time, up the middle. Gonna get a couple blocks. Gonna pick up another 4. This time it's Ray Jefferson, the ball carrier, but she's not gonna have enough for the 1st down. So Minnesota, 4th down, is at 4th down territory. They're a little further back than last time when you agreed with them not to go for it, and it looks like they're going to go for it here again.
Yeah, that's Connor. She's, you know, she'll call it on 4th down, and you know what? I'm not sorry about it. You know, especially this early in a game. Why not take a chance? And if anything, it's a free opportunity to see, you know, what plays are working, what players that are not working. Are they going to jump on a hard count? Are they disciplined?
And Kelly is good at her hard count. Already picked up 3 1st downs this season with that hard count.
Well, and the team's ready.
Quick little pass up the middle. And Radford tried to sell that at the end there.
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't think anyone was buying it. You could tell the St. Louis Slam player was, backed off the gas. But we were talking a little bit about, the hard count, which really relies on the whole team not to jump, but for them to remember, oh yeah, this is a hard count play. But generally speaking, for penalties, I referenced a little earlier, so far this season, the Vixen, up until the kickoff of this game, had 21 penalties for the season compared to St. Louis Slam's 7.
So St. Louis takes over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line.
They were getting some hand signals.
Shadana Chancellor Hurd is in the backfield next to Gall.
Trips on the near side.
Jamie Gall takes the snap. Hurd's going to block for her. This one's going to be thrown behind the receiver, Carrie McMahon, the intended target, 2nd down.
That was a miscommunication. McMahon was actively blocking, and so you see having a little chat with Gall and McMahon talking about, hey, what happened here? Okay, it might have been a miscommunication on what that play call was.
Second down and 10. Hurd lines up behind Gall. Humphrey lines up as a receiver. Hands off to Hurd. Hurd gets a block. She's going to run straight into a bunch of Minnesota players and just get back to the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 10 for St. Louis.
Solid wall, nowhere to go. No, there was 4 Vixen players on that tackle. Yeah, as a defensive coordinator, that's what you love to see. I don't know, how do you even do the stats on that, Brian?
That's what we got John Sands for.
John can figure it out.
So 3rd down and 10. Trips to her right this time. Hurd to her left. McMahon, the only lone receiver, to her left. She's going to look to her right. She's going to pass it. This one's going to be completed to Hannah Brixen, and Brixen's going to spin forward and pick up a fresh set of downs for St. Louis.
That was pretty. A fairly balanced offensive attack thus far. Some things working, some things not working. But generally speaking, St. Louis is starting to look a little more balanced.
So fresh set of downs for St. Louis, 1st and 10 from the Minnesota 42-yard line.
We saw Hannah Brixen come in, tight end going to the far side.
Gall hands it to Hurd. Hurd's going to have to turn. She's running side to side, but she's able to get a little bit of a turn. She's pushed out of bounds.
Well, Hannah Brixen had a great first block there and was trying to make a second block to get a couple more yards on that play. Ended up getting someone behind her.
Paige Condi with the push out of bounds as the final 30 seconds tick away here in the first quarter.
Yeah, really sealed up that outside edge. And then a great stiff arm to get a few more yards.
So St. Louis, if they wish, they could elect to allow the quarter to end as there's 25 seconds on the play clock.
Looks like they'll ball it out. Are they going to snap it before, or yeah? Okay.
So that's the end of the first quarter in the Week 6 Women's Football Alliance game between the St. Louis Slam and the Minnesota Vixen. Your score is 7 each. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Women's Football Alliance Week 6 game of the week between the Minnesota Vixen and the St. Louis Slam. As we look at the quarter one stats, 70 total yards for St. Louis, only 27 for Minnesota, with Minnesota's lone touchdown coming on a kick return of 75 yards from Britt Peterson. I'm Brian Sweeney with Dr. Berg. And Berg, that first quarter was quite exciting. We had a lot more to look forward to in the second.
Yeah, not what I expected at all. And, you're talking about yardage for offense, and Vixen just haven't been on the field a whole lot on offense in that first quarter. Not a lot of opportunity to get anything done. They were barely on the field.
So St. Louis, 2nd down and 6. As this one's handed off to Humphrey. Humphrey gonna find a hole. She's got a first down. She spins back to her right, escapes the tackle. She's gonna be pulled down by Minnesota, but she's gonna pick up a fresh set of downs for the Slam.
Yeah, that was a smart read. The play was going to the right. It was a blocking, flowing to the right. And here we see, everything. And then she finds a cutback lane, finds some space, gets another block, and great yardage on the play because of that vision.
Flugel for Minnesota on the tackle. 1st and 10 from St. Louis. From the Minnesota 23. Humphrey lines up to Gall's right. 2 receivers to her right, including Cook.
Humphrey is getting plenty of reps. You gotta hope she's staying hydrated.
Snap is up, flag on the play. This one's gonna be false start on St. Louis, so make it 1st and 15.
Prior to the snap, false start number 84.
Oh,
5-yard
bummer.
penalty means first down.
At this point, you gotta, as an offense, think, okay, let's not lose our momentum. They've really been moving the ball impressively. So gotta stay focused, stay in it, stay in that sense of energy and momentum.
So Richardson and Brown, both to Gall's right. And McMahon and Brixton to her left. 20 seconds on the play clock. 13:31.
Trips tight to the right.
On the game clock. Gall waits for the snap. It's up. She drops back. She's going to throw it to her right, and this one is going to be too high for Hannah Brixton. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 15.
Too high and too far. And that's the part of it is depends on which receiver you're throwing to as far as how high, how far you're throwing the ball. So it takes a lot of reps and time to get that kind of connection. And, sometimes it looks like it should be an easy throw, but there's a lot of variables.
So 2nd and 15.
Play calls are coming in from the sideline via hand signals mostly.
Snap is up. Gall's going to throw it to her left. She's got a receiver in the area.
Very close.
This time McMahon's not able to pull it in, so it's 3rd and long for St. Louis.
Yeah, the Vixen they're lucky that wasn't caught. Defensive coordinators, cornerback coaches will say, no one behind you, no one behind you. And McMahon was behind 2 secondary players for the Vixen. If that had been a catch, it probably would have been a touchdown.
McMahon, the only receiver to Gall's left. Gall's going to drop back. Quick little throw to Humphrey. Humphrey's going to met the backfield. She escapes the tackle, but she's going to be leveled by the Minnesota Vixen back at about the 42-yard line.
I can't believe she escaped that many tackles. I mean, she missed one, threw off another, and then, who can avoid 7 people in your face? Yeah, it just didn't work out like the slam wanted it to there.
Jocelyn Tanner in on that tackle for Minnesota. And Tanner having a great season so far for these Vixen.
Initial contact made by Alicia Noble.
So 4th, and I don't want to do the math, but I'm going to say about 27 for St. Louis.
Better you than me, my friend.
And that was down. We play by college rules, and Knightsling's knee was on the ground when she picked up that ball. So Minnesota gonna take over on downs from midfield after a second botched snap on a punt attempt so far tonight for St. Louis.
Bummer, dude.
Great crowd on hand here as we look again. Right there, her knee was on the ground as she picked it up, and college rules, you're down when your knee's down, even without being touched.
Or an elbow.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
not aware of that.
Well, the more you know.
So Aaron Kelly from midfield, 7-7 here with 12:09 remaining in the first half. Minnesota, Vixen, St. Louis Slam. Two teams that have played each other more than any other teams in the Women's Football Alliance in the last 6 seasons.
And you know what's pretty cool to think about? Number 96, Red Bryant, has played in almost every single...
Wide open is Amanda Dvorak across the middle, receiving Aaron Kelly's catch and moving the chains all the way to the 22-yard line.
Hey, Dvorak. Some crossover routes. That worked very nicely. I like that route combo.
Dvorak with 135 yards this season, 2 touchdowns, picks up about another 25 yards on that play as she moves the chains for Minnesota. So this time, Kelly drops back. She's going to throw to her left. She's got a receiver in the area, and this one's going to fall incomplete. Intended for Halverson, the tight end.
Yeah, a little mistiming there.
Great coverage by Devitt.
Yeah.
For St. Louis, going to make it 2nd down and 10. And I think the fans have calmed down from what they thought was a missed call before.
Yes. Couplets in the backfield. Be a good time for a run. They've been throwing. Although it looks pretty heavy on the inside. We'll see what the Vixen do.
And it is going to be a handoff to Kuplik. Kuplik, she's going to make a few yards on the play before being pulled down by Yandel of St. Louis. Pickup of 9 on the play, going to make it 3rd and 1 for Minnesota.
Well, that was a good time for an outside run call. You've been putting it deep for a while, and the middle looked heavily guarded.
This time Minnesota's going to lose a couple on the play with Kuplik carrying the ball. This is why I don't play charades. Everybody's wondering why I got quiet. I'm motioning to turn the light on, and then I nearly trip over Berg trying to get to the light switch.
Well, and you were, pointing up towards the sky. I thought, is it the fan? Can he not hear me? Yeah, we're playing a good game of charades over here, folks. If only there was a visual for you.
So there's going to be 4th down. Minnesota's going to go for it. And I don't blame them. They've gone for it on 4th down every time so far this game. Kelly lines up under center. It's a little pitch to Kuplik. Kuplik's going to get a tackle. She's only going to get a yard on the play, so St. Louis is going to take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their 15.
Mary Altpeter on the tackle for St. Louis Slam. That name sounds familiar. I think she's been playing a while too.
Mary Altpeter, Jada Humphrey, Jamie Gall, Kaylee Knightsling. Players that when the day comes that the Women's Football Alliance gets their own wing in Canton, Ohio at the Football Hall of Fame. Those are 4 names from St. Louis that definitely need to be listed and enshrined into that wing.
You know, I always loved playing St. Louis. You know, first of all, they have that veteranship, they have that deep knowledge and pretty solid coaching. Also, I just like visiting St. Louis. It's a great city.
You got some good barbecue.
I like the music.
So St. Louis 1st and 10. Gall waits the snap. Humphrey to her left. Snap is up. She's going to throw it to her left. This time McMahon's going to reach for it. There's going to be a flag on the play.
I think she made the catch, remarkably.
She did make the catch.
Yeah, they're calling it a completed catch. Incredible. And it was very close coverage. I don't know what more you could want from the coverage.
Pass interference, defense number 6. That penalty is declined.
That penalty will be declined. So fresh set of downs for St. Louis.
Well, you know, I'm seeing more and more why a couple of the first offensive play calls were, okay, go to McMahon. And they didn't work out there at the beginning, but, you know, clearly that's their most solid connection, QB to wide receiver.
And ever since I said we hadn't said her name yet, we've said it at least every other play that St. Louis has been on offense. So fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 29. It's a pitch to Humphrey, and Humphrey once again. So 3 times this evening we've seen the ball pitched to Humphrey, and Jada has not been able to hold on to it like we're so used to seeing out of her.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't paying as close of attention at that point, but a lot of times you want to move before you secure the catch. So here we see she's got her eyes on it, doesn't necessarily see it all the way into her hands. And now, granted, the pitch was a little bit in front of her, some extracurricular activity after that, and Tanner gets up and talks to the referee saying, hey, what's up with that? You know, that's kind of some of the scrappiness that you expect, though.
So 2nd down and 15. This time they hand it to Humphrey, and she's met in the backfield again. And St. Louis, who's supposed to be moving left to right across the screen, is finding themselves moving right to left.
Cherry Flugel, well done, way to hunt that down. I'm telling you, Humphrey's getting a little frustrated here as we saw the push and Tanner after the play. And I think at some point a little earlier, someone tried to help her up, and she was like, you know, buzz off. So a play like that by Cherry, you know, that's not going to make it any easier to get through the night.
So a loss of 2 on that play makes it 3rd down and 17 for St. Louis. Trip receivers spread to her right. McMahon, the lone receiver, to her left. Gall trying to see if she can get Minnesota to jump. Doesn't happen, so she takes the snap. She's going to throw it far to her right, and she's got a completion to Richardson, and Richardson's going to pick up all the lost downage and a fresh set of downs for St. Louis.
That was solid. I mean, it was a little bit of wobbly pass, but Richardson was in the right place and had plenty of space, to be honest, to make that kind of a catch. It seemed like both DBs were hung up on the near throw and not enough coverage. But, you know, Britt Peterson gets over there, makes the saving tackle, make sure that St. Louis Slam doesn't get any farther than that.
So 1st and 10 from the 45. Snap is up. Humphrey takes the handoff. She's got a wide hole in the middle of the field. Gets a good block. Spins to her right-hand side. She's to the 30. She's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 27-yard line. But the best run of the night so far for Jada Humphrey.
Incredible. And, you know, I saw just before that play, Tanner, you know, based on the play call, it kind of jumped outside. And then on the opposite side, we had Alicia Noble kind of bounce to the outside. I don't know if they were expecting an outside run, but it just, you know, worked out the magic of that play that Humphreys was able to go straight up the middle and find plenty of space, get a stiff arm here, and make some strong yardage for the Slam.
So the Minnesota Vixen are going to use their first timeout of the game, and while they're doing so, we'll look across the rest of the Women's Football Alliance Pro Division games this week. And what we see right now is Pittsburgh Passion for the first time this evening is up over the Tampa Bay Inferno 21-14. There was a while in this game where it was 14-7 Tampa Bay, so it's great to see that as well. Houston Energy playing the Dallas Elite Mustangs in Division II. That game is still at 0. And a couple games then that haven't started in the Pro Division. We've got a little bit later on, we've got the Salt Lake City Wildcats versus the Cali War. And the Nevada Storm are playing the Division II River City Grizzlies as well. So some big games coming on still tonight. And you know, you want to talk about how the playoffs are aligned this year. We'll try to get through this really quick. So the American Conference, you have two regions, the Western region and the Central region, with the Central region having Minnesota, St. Louis, and Houston. Whichever team finishes first in that region will automatically get a home game, and they'll play the team that either finishes third or fourth in the American Conference based on how the Western region's shapes out, which of those teams is higher in the Massey ratings, and we'll discuss the National Conference a little bit later. So 1st and 10 from St. Louis after that, picking up that first down by Jada Humphreys, best run of the evening so far. She lines up behind Gall. She's going to get it handed off to her again. She's going to go to her left-hand side. She's got a great stiff arm there. But there is going to be a flag on the play, but what a great stiff arm by Jada Humphrey.
There might have been a little grabbing there. I think it was a more than just a stiff arm.
Is that Caitlin Hill maybe?
No, it was Tanner on the tackle.
Let's see what the officials decide here.
And I don't know if Tanner just wasn't giving up on the tackle or if she physically could not get away because her face mask was being grabbed. It's hard to say. But luckily we have these refs on the ground to tell us what's up.
So it is going to be a personal face mask on St. Louis, as Rick DeGardner, our white hat, tells us. So
thanks, Rick.
Replay of the first down, but it backs St. Louis up.
Well, and you know, that sets a good precedent, so to speak, for this game, because Humphreys has had plenty of stiff arms so far. Yeah, there you see the grab there, and you can see Tanner's head coming forward. When you're trying to make a tackle, you're not putting your head down like that. So that signals to the referees that that's being pulled.
Well, and that was number 22, actually, Ashley Weiland. That was the one that had her helmet being held. Tanner was behind her on the tackle assist.
Got you.
So 1st and 20 for the St. Louis Slam. And once again, it's handed off to Humphrey. And Humphrey, with a little bit of looseness in her foot, is going to lose a few more yards on the play. And the frustrations are starting to come out for Jada.
You know, to her credit, she doesn't go down on these tackles where there are 3-4 defenders trying to take her down. And, you know, that's also part of the benefit of being short. So if you know, it comes to the point where the Vixen are in an open field tackle situation, you really want to bring her down. You got to get low. You got to take out at the ankle, knee, hip level, or else you're just out of it.
So 2nd down and 26 for St. Louis. Last time I mentioned that they were going the wrong way. Humphreys had her best carry of the game. But this time Gall's looking to pass. And this pass is going to be complete to Brixen, and Brixen's going to run into the Minnesota defense. Run right into Paige Condi, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
I don't know if there's any yardage gain on that play, maybe a few.
So no gain on the play.
I mean, they've got to be getting tired, both sides of the ball here. But, you know, especially the St. Louis Slam, I haven't seen a whole lot of substitutions on their offense, and Humphrey's been in for almost every single play. Same thing with McMahon. It's hot out. Yes, there's a breeze. Yes, we're starting to get the sun starting to go down. But this is a long time to be on the field uninterrupted.
So 3rd and 26. Gall. Gonna look to her left, looks to her right, decides to throw it to her right. And great coverage by Minnesota that time as Richardson now on the end of asking where the flag was thrown. And
it looked clean to me. It looked clean from up here. It was side to side. And, you know, there's a little arm on arm, but it wasn't wrapping around at all.
Yeah, and if anything, their feet just got tangled up.
Right.
So Nightsling onto the field to punt.
Hey, girl. Oh, blue gloves, too. I like that. Okay, so, you know, we've been watching the long snaps here, a little struggling. And it seems like we have, let's see, about 10 yards. So a strongly experienced long snapper is going to go over 10 yards. So we see the Slams adjusting a bit to accommodate that. And Nitzeling is just a skilled athlete to get it off in general.
And great job picking up the bounce. That definitely bounced off a player, but I'm not sure if it was a Minnesota player.
It was a Slam helmet.
Okay.
They were facing the opposite direction. I'm sure they were, you know, what just hit my head? Boop.
Okay. So right off the head of Sydney Williams, but great heads-up play by the Vixen picking that up because I couldn't see who it bounced off of initially in the live feed. But
yeah, it was good reaction time.
You always want to make sure you grab those because if it was touched by Minnesota, it would have easily been St. Louis's ball. So Kelly, 1st and 10. 3:45 remaining here in the first half. Minnesota and St. Louis knotted at 7. The Women's Football Alliance Game of the Week, Week 6. With Dr. Berg, I'm Brian Sweeney, and we've really enjoyed tonight's game so far. It's been back and forth. We saw some good muscle from the offense. However, the continuous muscle's been from the defense of both of these teams. So 1st and 10, Erin Kelly with Paige Kuplick behind her. Waits for the snap. This time, she's going to fake the handoff. She's going to roll to her right. She's looking for somebody to throw it to. She's got an open receiver, and what a great catch. It's going to pick up a fresh set of downs for Minnesota with that pass complete to Solveig Lundberg.
Great catch, but great throw on the run by EK. And she did have 2 people hot on her heels. So she rolls out, 2 players pretty close to her face, and pauses just enough to get her foot planted on the ground to make that kind of a throw. Well done.
And nobody near Lundberg when that pass was caught. So great job getting a few yards after the pass is caught as well. 1st and 10 from Minnesota from St. Louis's 48-yard line. This time it's going to be handed off to Kuplick. Kuplick looking for a block on her left-hand side. And she's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe they're going to give her a yard. Going to bring up 2nd down and 9.
Defense has a lot of energy here for the St. Louis Slam. They're not letting those runs go too far. And when looking at these blocks, we have Sanderson on the edge there against number 47, Brooklyn Devitt for the St. Louis Slam, going pretty hard on each other. Some hands around the neck area. And that's the St. Louis Slam. They're not going to lay down and just let you run the ball on them.
So Kelly, 2 for 5 so far. 45 yards the long pass. That one there will add to that. 2nd down and 8. Trips to her right. Waits for the snap. Hands it off again to Kuplick. Kuplick gets a good block. She's not easy to stop when she gets going, and she's going to circle around for a few more yards as Julia Kempf for St. Louis is in on the tackle. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, Jasmine Yendel, I think, also made some initial contact on that tackle.
So that's going to bring us to the 2-minute timeout. 1:59 officially on the clock. Minnesota Vixen 7, St. Louis Slam 7. And Berg, this is a lot more fun than the last game we were at.
Oh yeah, I'm paying attention. I'm paying close attention because you can't look away for too long without missing something happening. This, pretty good matchup. St. Louis really showing up despite their sluggish start. But you know what, Brian, in my experience, that's kind of in their MO. They mosey a little bit, and they're used to playing in the heat in the South. So, they just warm up a little bit lighter. And then they come out and they ball out and they show up, and you better be ready. Whereas the Vixen have a little more of an organized, advanced, intense warm-up. And they're Northerners, so training in the cold. Excuse me. But you can see the difference in some of the culture and the MO of the teams, and I think that's one of the reasons it ends up being such a great matchup. The teams bring their individual strengths and have to figure each other out in live time while going very hard against each other.
So 3rd down. This time handed to Jefferson in the backfield. Jefferson's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, but she's got nowhere to go. It's going to bring up 4th down for Minnesota.
She started so deep in the backfield, and I think they wanted to get a little momentum going on the run, find some speed, find a hole. It's just it wasn't open. Nothing was really open there for that run, at least not that I could see from here.
And Kuplik leading the rushing team for Minnesota so far this game, 12 attempts for 32 yards, and Humphrey for the St. Louis Slam, 10 attempts for 52 yards, with her long being 28. So, and that was that one that we talked about a little bit earlier in this quarter. So 4th down, Minnesota going forward again. Jefferson lines up behind Kelly.
Oh.
And Minnesota's going to elect to use their 2nd timeout of the half with just over a minute here remaining.
All right. Coach Connor Joe Lewis comes out to have a little chit-chat. It might have been seeing what the defense was doing before calling that timeout. Maybe wanted to communicate differently about whatever play was coming through. Hard to say. And now this is probably the longest drive for the Vixen offense so far this game. And, especially when you're running the ball that much and in the heat, you've got your O-line working pretty hard to make those blocks. Would love to continue to see the ball aired out as well, although generally speaking, I think this is pretty well balanced offensive called game. And I can tell that Kojo is playing around. This is a game of chess. This is what am I calling versus what are you calling, and sometimes it just works out that the call's offset and you just got a goal, you just got an opening. But a lot of time it's very strategic.
So the snap is up. Kelly's going to throw to her left right away, and receiver wasn't quite ready for that one. Intended for the tight end, Helverson, falls incomplete, so St. Louis is going to take over on downs.
Yeah, it seems like there was some engagement with the cornerback, and I don't think the receiver could get their head around in time for that quick throw.
So 1st and 10 from St. Louis from their 42. 58 total yards rushing so far this game for the Slam. 75 yards in the air, and one of the stats that's a little bit weird on that so far is Humphrey, with as great as she's been on the ground, is actually minus 12 yards in the air.
We're getting close to halftime here, Brian, and the
Humphrey takes the handoff, left-hand side. She escapes a couple tackles. She spins. She gets another good block, and she's going to step out of bounds at about the 47-yard line to stop the clock, to move the chains. Fresh set of downs for St. Louis.
Yep, smart play to make sure you get out of bounds and stop the clock. It's pretty incredible to think that the Vixen offense have not scored at all this first half. It was a score by special teams.
Well, especially when you've got, you're averaging 50 points a game, and that would be 25 a half, and we're less than a third of where we would want Minnesota Vixen to be so far in a game. So 1st and 10 from St. Louis, 49 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Really tight formation.
Humphrey gets the handoff. She's got a hole on the right-hand side. She picks up a block, and she's going to be chased down from the back.
Yeah, Flugel, Cherry Flugel, very nice fit. Cherry! And Sherry's tapping out. Might need a little break after whatever contact that was. But there were a lot of really great blocks on that play.
St. Louis electing to use their first timeout.
Yeah, Cherry just chased down from the backside. Just did not quit, chased down. And then Humphrey had to pull up to try and find a gap to run through. And as soon as you pull up like that, if you've got someone on your tail, bam, that's it, end of the run.
When you mentioned Flugel had to check out, I see them over talking to the medical staff right now. So you've mentioned it more than once, Berg, that this heat is not easy to play on, and it's always hotter on the field than one would think, just because of all the pellets and the rubber and
the equipment, the gear, the black jerseys, the cleats, the layers. Not a great time of year to be wearing layers. Yeah, I mean, staying hydrated is a full-time job when you're playing at this level.
So 2nd down and 2 for St. Louis from the Minnesota 39-yard line. Gall drops back. She's going to throw this one to a wide open receiver. Nobody was near Cook, and Cook's going to pick up another first down and step out of bounds to stop the clock once again.
Oh, great crossover route. That's a good play call. Well executed.
So fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 for St. Louis from the Minnesota 22. "25 seconds remaining here in the first half. Game tied at 7.
The crowd is really getting pepped up, hoping for the defense to get a stop here.
This time, Gall's going to overthrow.
Great coverage, too, by C.J. Dobie. Very clean.
Humphrey, the intended receiver. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
Waiting around for a play call. What do you think, Brian? Pass or throw? Or pass, run?
Boy, I'm going to get this one right no matter what.
Pass or run?
I'm going to say throw to Cook on the right. Gall tells Humphrey to switch sides. Low snap.
Yeah.
She's going to drop back. She's going to throw it.
Yeah.
She's just going to dump the ball.
That was smart. I'm not sure what. There's. Sideline, some players wanted a call there. I'm not sure.
And they are going to get the intentional grounding.
Yeah.
Agree with the call, but not my job to say it should be there till after I see it.
That's smart, Brian. Know your lane. Well, 14 seconds, the Slam has shown that they can cover that kind of yardage in 14 seconds. So if they can stay focused, get the right play calls, execute, this could still be a score before half. And I know that's what they're going for here. They want more points on the board, and they want to be ahead at halftime.
St. Louis started this drive on their own 39, have used 10 minutes and 34 seconds off the clock so far.
The foul. St. Louis is elected to take a timeout rather than a 10-second runoff. That is their second timeout of the half.
They are going to elect to use their timeout instead of running the 10 seconds off the clock.
Do a couple more chit-chats.
So it will be a loss of down.
I see Cherry Flugel back on the field. Cherry! And worth noting that the trot over to athletic trainers was just a conversation. I didn't see any kind of treatment, so hopefully they're doing all right.
Cali War Salt Lake game has started. No score yet over there on the West Coast. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the second half of the game. And the only other game left to start then is the Nevada Storm a little bit later. And Pittsburgh still up over Tampa Bay 21-14. That game a little more than halfway through the third quarter.
Interesting.
So 3rd and 19, excuse me.
Oh, the crowd's getting fired up.
Gall takes the snap, drops back. He's going to throw it to her left, high up in the air.
Oh.
Ball was caught, but there will be a flag on the play. I think she may have stepped out of bounds. We'll see what the actual call is.
These referees are pretty busy.
Nope.
Illegal touching on the offense. Player went out of bounds. Came in.
First player to touch the ball after stepping out of bounds was Amanda Richardson, so this one's going to come back as well.
I see. She stepped out of the bounds, came back in bounds, made the catch, got it.
It's nice that the sideline on this one, she's wearing bright green shoes, which there you see those shoes on the black turf.
Yeah, and that's great pass coverage too. Force them to go around you, get off their route.
So 6 seconds remaining. This is just me, but I'd go for the field goal here.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. We saw Pittsburgh do it earlier this year, a walk-off to beat the DC Divas at the end of a game. This would only be at the half, but...
They're putting ideas in your head.
They are.
Yeah, they're influencing.
Give the kickers their chance to get T-shirts made. So 4th down and 19, and Minnesota's going to elect to use their final timeout of the game.
Okay. Chit, chit, chit. Tuckle up, take a little more.
So we've had a little bit of everything here in the first half, except scoring by the Minnesota offense. And I can't remember the last time I've seen their offense shut out in the first half of a game.
No, me neither. Me neither. And I'm sure they're going to hear about it at halftime.
Of course, the other side of that coin then is just how well the defense for Minnesota has been doing.
Well, I'm sure they're exhausted being out on the field so much. But I will say that it seems like the run game for the Vixen isn't as flowing as it typically is. I imagine that St. Louis and their coaches came very prepared watching film from the last game and whatever they can get their hands on to prepare defensively for the play calls that are commonly made by the Vixen offense.
So 4th and 19 for St. Louis. Almost guaranteed to be the final play of the half. 7-7. Gall takes the snap. She's going to run to her right. She's just going to throw the ball out of bounds, and that is how we are going to end the first half of this game, Berg. Minnesota 7, St. Louis 7, as Gall has to escape the tackle and throw the ball out of bounds.
That's it. there's the half.
So we'll be back for the second half of this game. Women's Football Alliance Week 6 action. We'll see you in 15. Welcome to the Road to Canton Halftime Show. I'm Brian Sweeney, the voice of the Women's Football Alliance Pro Division National Championship game. With me, as always, is Alex Weston. Alex, how the teams play in these final 3 weeks will dictate if they're on the road or at home on their own roads to Canton. The playoff structure this year will look like this. Over in the American Conference, we have the Central Region and the Western Region. The winner of those two regions will take the number 3 and the number 4 teams, depending upon how they're placed. Over on the national side, the number 1 and 2 teams will each advance to the playoffs, with the number 8 team visiting the number 4 team and the number 7 team visiting the number 2 team.
Well, it's complicated in structure, but at the end of the day, teams that win their ball games are going to be the teams that advance in the postseason. This is a game in a situation where you have to control home field advantage, because not only is it you get to play at home over the course of the playoffs, you don't have to travel. You don't have to spend time in a hotel. You don't have to worry about coordinating all the logistics that go into playing a road football game. And more importantly, you control how things go on your home turf. Home field advantage is huge. In the WFA, perhaps more so than anything, securing that home field advantage, not just in the first round, but also in the second.
There were only 3 games in the Pro Division last weekend, and each one lit up the scoreboard with offensive power. The Pittsburgh Passion finished the road portion of their schedule with a perfect 3-0 as they traveled to play the Cincinnati Cougars. Marcelina Chavez played some of her best ball this season as she led her team down the field at will, putting up points both on the ground and in the air. Final score 42-0. After being shut out for the first time since opening the weekend in 2023, the Cougars are on a bye next week before finishing the regular season on June 13th with a rematch against these same Passion. Pittsburgh will welcome the DC Divas next weekend, June 6th, for a rematch of Week 3 when Pittsburgh won with a walk-off field goal. Chavez continues to get better each season as a quarterback, with her rating now above 130 since taking over the role full-time in 2024. For Cincinnati, they came into this game as the number 1 defense in the National Conference, having only allowed 7 points per game.
Well, and that's just a testament to where Pittsburgh is at, because you have all things offensively working for them. Offensive line, receivers, running back, quarterback. It's been fun to watch just how much better Makai Chavez has gotten year over year at the quarterback position for Pittsburgh. I really like what the Passion are doing, and most importantly, they're staying healthy. And it's a team that needed to stay healthy a year ago and finally has found that consistency and the ability to stay healthy, which leads into winning football. The most important thing for Pittsburgh is I want to continue to see them use Makai Chavez, not necessarily throwing just to the outsides, but more over the middle. Give her the chance to read a defense and exploit it as she can. She's got a great ability to read the defense when she's going toe-to-toe with it. Just give her that opportunity to really exploit it over the middle and see what she can do. For Cincinnati, this is a tough game because it does put them in a tough spot in terms of the Massey ratings, but I also look at the Cincinnati Cougars and say this is a tough out time and time again. You can look at it and say, okay, a year ago our result against Pittsburgh wasn't ideal. You could say this was probably worse, but you still have to recognize that Pittsburgh's a really darn good opponent. It's a good showing by Cincinnati nonetheless.
The Mile High Blaze look to get back to 500 as they travel to play the Salt Lake City Wildcats. Since joining the WFA as a Division II team in 2025, the Wildcats have been nearly unstoppable, putting up an average of 56 points a game behind the arm of Laura Gates and the legs of Sam Gordon. Moving up to the Pro Division in 2026 may have increased the talent of their opponents, However, the stat sheet has continued to show the Wildcats are going to be a team to contend with for years to come, as they put up one of the highest points totals in recent memory at the Pro Division. Final score 78-14. Next weekend, Mile High is on the road at the 0-4 Rocky Mountain Thundercats for a rematch of Week 1 when the Blaze came away with the win. The Wildcats are on a bye next weekend before finishing off the regular season on June 16th, hosting the 3-0 Cali War, a rematch of the game being played right now. Alex, the state of Utah recognizes girls playing high school tackle football, and this model is showing to be successful.
There are 3 hallmarks of a dynasty in any sport. 1, winning. 2, consistency. 3rd, and perhaps what Salt Lake is missing the most right now, is a championship at the highest level. They're going to be able to make their case for that. I mean, the scoreline itself is gaudy. When you score 78 points on anybody, it's a notable achievement one way or another. Mile High is a rebuilding team. I think that's safe to say, whether they want to admit it or not. They need help on defense. They need help on the offensive side. They're just not at a pro caliber style of offense or defense right now. But for Salt Lake, all of a sudden, their schedule gets tough. To be a champion, you have to beat the teams that have been at the highest tier above you. And you have to beat teams that have a championship caliber resume. The game that's going on right now that most of the audience is probably watching right now is going to give us a clear indication of just how good, if how good, Salt Lake and the Wildcats can be, whether it be turning into a championship this year or being that final gem of that dynastic run.
And in the final game last weekend, the Nevada Storm welcomed the Cali War. When these teams met in 2025, each team won at home, and the Storm was looking to continue that trend to get above 500. The War were looking for their first 3-0 start since 2023. This game was back and forth as teams exchanged touchdowns until Alyssa Robertson opened up the Cali lead with a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. This was the separation that the War needed to remain undefeated on the season. Final score 37-21. Next weekend, Nevada welcomes the 0-3 Oregon Cougars of Division II. These teams met on opening weekend, with the Storm getting the blowout win. Cali will welcome the 1-2 Houston Energy. These teams met in Houston last season when the War were victorious 52-6. Alex, the Storm could win out the rest of the season and still not make the playoffs due to their strength of schedule. And Cali needs at least a split with Salt Lake if they want an opportunity to play a home game in the postseason.
And right now, with how Salt Lake is playing, that might be a tough ask for the Cali War. But this was a game that was important for both these teams for that exact reason, where you knew that the winner was going to be in the driver's seat and the loser was going to have to find their way, maybe through a different route than what they expected. I think that when you look at the Cali War, again, they're showing you enough, but they aren't really taking a step. For the first time in what feels like a long time, it's a balanced offense for the Cali War. We're not used to them having that balanced offense, but it is. It's starting to come around. Tanya Guzman has filled in really well since ascending to the full-time starting role at quarterback for the Cali War, but she's going to have some tough tests coming up right now against Salt Lake and in a couple of weeks when she plays them again. This is a really tough matchup for Nevada to lose, knowing that it probably sends them out to the east. Granted, a lot can happen between now and then, but that's why this game was so important, because the winner at least would feel comfortable about their playoff fate, whereas the loser needs to win out and have a lot go right, and that's why Cali's looking in a better spot here.
After 5 weeks, Alex, we're sitting at 23-1 and 22-2 for our picks. And last week, we were both a perfect 3-0. There are only 18 games left in the regular season, so let's jump right into the Week 6 picks. DC at Cincinnati.
I think that Cincinnati will carry a little momentum from their game in Pittsburgh to this game, but it's not enough to stop Amanda Congialdi, who's playing well as anybody. Give me DC.
Tampa at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, again, I think, especially at home, nothing stopping the passion right now. Give me Pittsburgh.
St. Louis at Minnesota.
This one's tough for me because it doesn't feel like Minnesota can or should win 2 games in a season against St. Louis, but yet I think it's what's going to happen. Give me Minnesota here.
Nevada at River City.
Tough matchup for River City. Nevada gets back on the winning streak, and they need to win by 40 here to stay relevant. Nevada.
Salt Lake at Cali.
I feel like with how Salt Lake is rolling right now, they have the money in their pocket with which to win, and I'm not sure that Cali can match up with them in a track meet. If they do, they have to play with motion, they have to play with up-tempo offense. I don't think it's enough. Salt Lake.
And Dallas at Houston.
This one is a tough one, too. I think Houston wins because they're at home, but it's a slight win. It can go either way because even though they are small, they are mighty in the Dallas Elite Mustangs, but I still think Houston gets the dub.
Playoff seeding is starting to fall into place, and we will decide in the last 3 weeks who moves on into the postseason. Enjoy the second half of your game, and we'll see you next week on the road to Canton.
I'm Jada Humphrey. I'm a running back for the St. Louis Slam.
All right, can you tell me about last season? The St. Louis Slam has won the championship again. Talk to me about that.
I mean, well, I think it kind of started off when we played Boston and we lost. Ever since then, we really carried that chip on our shoulder, and then, you know, from there, we just never looked back. We just made sure that we tweaked the program, got people prepared, because we felt that pain when we lost, and we just wanted to make sure we never felt it again. So, I mean, the practices got harder, days went longer, but we always kept sight of what we wanted to do in the end, and that's just be a championship team.
Tell me, like, what are the big characteristics or qualities of a championship team?
Definitely, I say being coachable. Probably, you know, we're all women. We got to be there. Not everybody has a good day, but absolutely being there for your sisters, not just on the field, but making sure you're keeping that rapport off the field so they know it's not really transactional. It's an actual relationship, and we want to maintain and let people know that we care about you, not just for you coming to practice, but your well-being outside of that as well. Those two things for sure that holds us as the glue. Other than that, it's really just hard work and bragging rights.
How do you go every day? Like, how do you keep going, you know, dealing with the loss of your coach, as you mentioned, caring for your mom, dealing with these unseen, sometimes, you know, unseen from the outside world, those hurdles and those obstacles or those challenges that you are enduring, and then still be able to take the field. Like, what does that look like, and how do you?
Yeah, so on the Slam, we have the famous quote and chant, day by day, and I really take that literal. I try not to overwhelm myself with the big picture. I just take it one thing at a time, one moment at a time, cross one thing off the list, and then eventually the list gets shorter, and I just tell myself at the end of the day gotta end. So just make sure you can do what you can in that day. It really helps me kind of focus on what's important right now and what I can kind of put in the back. But yeah, it's really just the day by day that keeps me going. It's always gonna be a lot. Everything's always gonna be tough. That's just life. But you just gotta know yourself, know your strength, and know you're resilient and execute.
Does that help you on the field? Does it hurt you on the field? How does that impact your game?
Yeah, on the field it definitely helps me. I'm a running back, so I run a lot. I get hit a lot. I'm tired. But in my brain, I'm just like one more snap, one more snap, one more snap, and eventually we're either in the end zone or we're off the field. So I'm gonna get my break somehow. So yeah, I just take it one snap at a time, but I'm making sure that I'm giving my 100% because I know the people I'm around are expecting me to do that, but they're also giving their 110%. Coming to the WFA, I found my team, I found my groove, I found myself as a player here. I've had great success, so I really have no complaints. Just being part of the WFA, it's really cool to go to other people and either tell them about it and they're learning about it and they're buying into it, or there's been many instances where I told them and they're like, oh yeah, you play in the WFA. So people do know, and it's just kind of cool to be recognized when you don't really expect it.
LFG 2026. Shout out to James. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Women's Football Alliance Game of the Week between the St. Louis Slam and the Minnesota Vixen. As we get ready to start the third quarter, I'm Brian Sweeney with Dr. Berg, and total yards are so similar for this game, with 99 yards for St. Louis, 58 for Minnesota. But the thing is Minnesota, most of their total yards were on that punt return that was ran back for a touchdown.
By Britt Peterson. Such an athletic play, too. I mean, the offense just has hardly been on the field, with the exception towards the end of the second quarter. They did have a pretty long drive that was sustained, but they just haven't had the opportunity to get a whole lot of momentum beyond that drive. Just so, a couple of shorter chances to try out some plays here and there, see what's working well. But St. Louis Slam's defense was clearly prepared for the majority of the Vixens' basic plays.
So Minnesota won the coin toss at the beginning of the game and elected to defer. So Carrie McMahon to kick the ball off, and the third quarter is underway.
Shazam. Ooh, off the chest plate.
This one's going to have to be jumped on.
Coach Griff is not going to like that. He would always say, on kick return, we need to start at the 35 or more, at least the 30.
So Katie Hovey jumps on that kick after it bounces off the chest there, misplayed by Minnesota. So Minnesota has, actually, I'm looking down the field here and we see a St. Louis Slam player a little bit slow to move, and that looks like it's Robnicia Wood that hasn't been able to get quite back up yet.
Yeah, I saw pretty quickly everyone on the Vixen sideline take a knee, and then it just kind of rippled through. Not looking good, looking like she is in quite a bit of pain here.
We see Coach Quincy Davis in his patented bucket hat, I guess we could say.
Yeah, sure.
I've never seen Q without a bucket hat on his head.
I don't think I have either.
I think he goes to a wedding, he wears a bucket hat.
Well, you can see here how much he cares for his players. It looks like the Slam brought their own training staff as well. Not every team does. Usually we'll see the Vixen training staff over helping another team or an injured player, regardless of what team it is. So, and it does help when your trainer is there for away games. They know the players' bodies. They know what injuries they might already be dealing with, and can support in the situation more efficiently and more tailored to that person.
Not only does St. Louis bring their own training staff, as you alluded to, but it's the largest roster that the Vixen have seen this season. When you compare the roster sizes, it's actually a larger roster than the Minnesota Vixen have, as we see Wood back up on her feet, and she's walking off under her own power, which is great to see.
Yeah, just a little slow, just a little cautious. Seems like they might have been testing the joints there while she was on the ground, and hope that she can walk it off and stay safe and play safe.
So back to the game at hand. Minnesota Vixen 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Aaron Kelly with only one attempt at rushing in the first half of that game. 6 attempts in the air for 33% completion. This time, Kelly's going to roll. She's going to pass it.
Ooh.
This one is going to be intended for Radford, and great coverage by Kaylee Neitzling.
Yes, that was a great tackle, great timing. And you could tell Jackie was kind of waiting for that ball to drop down into her hands. So I suppose maybe she could have backtracked a little bit for it. I mean, it was coming right to her. Just waited just a little bit. Neitzling took advantage and slung Radford down.
Perfect timing by Kaylee as well, as she got there right as the ball to prevent any sort of penalty on that play. 2nd down and 10.
We see the routes are there, though. There's opening for more passes. Oh, false start.
This time's going to be a false start on Minnesota. It's going to push them back, so it'll be 2nd and 15.
Flag penalty, remains 2nd down.
Bummer, dude. All right. Walk it back. Again, this is a moment where you can't let yourself get discouraged. A little bit of a slow start here by the offense. You got to keep your chin up, roll with it, let it roll off you. And keep working, keep moving the ball.
Great shot once again of the Vixen Pride jerseys.
Snazzy. Word on the street as you helped design them, Brian.
I did. I should have picked a bolder outline so that the numbers were easier to read, but I only have myself to blame.
Oh,
this time, quick little dump pass off to the right. We got a hole in the middle of the field. She escapes a tackle. She's going to pick up about 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. Great job by Minnesota getting that ball to Solveig Lundberg. Third down and 1.
Good blocks on that play, too. We see Jackie Radford making a pretty significant block to open up some space, and Kinsey coming off on the right tackle position to get an upfield block. And then Lundberg finding a path to get plenty of yards. Good team play.
Third down and about 1.5 yards. Kuplik's lined up behind Kelly. She's going to give it to Kuplik. Kuplik's going to run into a wall.
Dang.
Looks like they're going to give her forward progress, though, so fresh set of downs for Minnesota.
Jasmine Yandel, woof. Oh, my gosh. Push Paige Kuplik back, which is not easy to do, my friends. Pretty solid tackle into that.
Oh, Kuplik's going to come out. Ray Jefferson's going to check in.
Yandel rolls off a block, continues forward momentum to push Kuplik back.
So 1st and 10 for Minnesota from the 37. Kelly waits for the snap. She's going to drop back. She's going to throw it to her right. This one was intended for Lundberg. Good coverage that time by Kiana Smith. Brings up 2nd down.
Good pass pro. Kelly had time. I mean, you can see the focus in the eyes of the St. Louis Slam team. They're ready. I would love to see a little bit more of a hurry-up offensive call here, get some momentum, catch St. Louis on their heels. Every time they have a little bit of time in between, they are in, they're focused, they're ready to go. To catch them on their heels might be helpful.
So this time Jefferson's going to get the handoff, makes a couple good spins. She's actually going to get some positive yardage over something where she was initially stopped in the backfield.
Hey, Ray. Way to go, girl. All right, we see the O-line there in the huddle. Hands on the hips, working hard.
And something we normally don't see is Kelly did not run back to get a play call from Coach Connor Joe this time. So this would be Minnesota's version of the no huddle. Quick little pass across the middle. This one's complete. Going to be another 1st down for Minnesota. Great job by Jackie Radford pulling that ball in.
That was a chef's kiss slant run and completion. 47 Brooklyn Devitt made a tackle. Could have been a lot worse. Look at that. Chip, chip, chip. Cuts in.
And the fact that that ball did not just, get thrown right into Jefferson's helmet there, as you see Kelly just releasing it right behind Ray as she ran past her.
Yeah, Radford was in between 4 different Slam players. Great job by EK to get that ball perfectly.
So 1st and 10. This time Kelly's going to throw it to her left.
Aye.
And this time it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Sam Anderson.
Sandy.
And Sam Anderson there, the only player on Minnesota without red dye on the jersey.
Yes, the red dye allergy. Interestingly enough, the last time I saw them, they had dyed their hair red. I don't know how that works.
I noticed that last home game as well. Clothing dye and hair dye, different chemicals.
It's got to be. Otherwise, they're playing with fire.
Second down and 10 for Minnesota on the St. Louis side of the field. Kelly. Radford was in motion, going to hand it off to Jefferson. Jefferson going to get a block on the left-hand side. She's going to escape a couple tackles, pick up some positive yardage. She's still being pushed forward before she's taken down by Mary Altpeter of St. Louis, but not before picking up 8 yards for Minnesota.
Yeah, Jefferson's doing a great job of finding some running lanes and picking up some speed, a little more of a speedy runner, and good vision. I believe Ray also plays or coaches or both of the flag football in the area. Good athlete and nice person, really nice person.
Third down and 3. Jefferson averaging 2.7 yards a carry so far in tonight's contest. 10:47 remaining in the third quarter. Teams tied at 7. Snap is up. This time, Kelly's going to roll to her right. She's going to throw it. She's got a receiver, but I think the route was read wrong. Looks like it could have been either for Lundberg or Radford, but the pass actually went between them as it hit the turf.
Hear some cheering, some support from the crowd. I think they'd love to see this drive get through, this fourth down, get down to the end zone.
Drive started back on Minnesota's 27-yard line.
Oh, that's looking good.
This time, Jefferson, big hole up the middle. She's going to pick up the first down, and Nutzling has to wrap her up and pull her to the ground. But first down, Minnesota.
Hey, Ray. Very nice. Great find, great lane, good speed. Taps her helmet. Does she want out? I don't know. Yep, there we go. Substitution with Kuplik. She needs a break. She's earned it. Yeah, good block by who's
Anderson.
It? Sandy. Sandy, well done.
So Minnesota converts on their first fourth down opportunity of the game successfully.
You know what I liked about that tackle by Nutzling is very clearly she was going for the ball. She was trying to slap that ball out.
First and 10, Minnesota from the St. Louis 25-yard line. Kelly hands it to Kuplik. Kuplik gonna run into a wall of St. Louis players. Gonna pick up a yard before she's stopped by Keondae Daniels.
Yeah, the lane just wasn't there. The St. Louis Slam D line, it seemed like it wasn't that hard for them to get off the block and pick up any lane that might have been available a second before that.
Apologies to Kennedy for saying her name incorrectly. So Minnesota gets a short one on that play. Second down and 9 from about the 24-yard line. Dvorak wide to the left. Lundberg and Radford to the right. Kuplik behind. Kelly spins. She's going to throw it. Intended for Radford. Pass is going to fall incomplete. Going to bring up third down. Great coverage that time by Smith.
Yeah, you know, the cornerback was in between. It was within the passing lane, and then you still had a safety in the back, making sure that Radford was covered deep as well. You know, it has taken some creativity for this Vixen passing game to stay afloat. More creative route combos and variety. Precision. Not a whole lot of room to make mistakes against St. Louis's defense.
Players same positions last play. This time Kelly's going to pump fake to her left. She's got people chasing her from behind. She's going to have to move, but she's staying on her feet.
Yeah.
She's going to step out of bounds. She's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. Going to make it fourth down and 4.
That was a good decision. Yeah, Connor has some advice or something to say, but a good decision by Kelly. Keep the play rolling, get the yardage, keep it going. Yeah. She sees there isn't anyone really there. And, good on Jackie Radford to adapt, see that Kelly's going to hold the ball and get a little bit of a block, try and help her cue out.
Alt-Peter, last person with an opportunity to get to Kelly before Kelly steps out of bounds. So Minnesota going for it again on 4th down and 4. Ray Jefferson going to receive the pass. She's going to get it completed. She's going to escape a tackle, but she's not going to get the first down. So St. Louis is going to take over on downs again with a great tackle that time by Alt-Peter.
Long drive.
So St. Louis to take over on downs. We have our first final of the night. Pittsburgh Passion defeats Tampa Bay by 1 point, 27-26. And Alex and I talked about it on Road to Canton this week on how much better the Tampa Bay Inferno have become in the last half season.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I am shocked. I'm surprised. It's not the score that I would have anticipated at the beginning of the season. They've clearly been working for it. Well,
so 7:52 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that half a quarter spent on that offensive drive. I hate to come up empty-handed by the end of it. So Vixen really relying on their defense this game to back it up and keep them in this game.
So Humphrey to the right of Gall. Gall takes the snap. She's going to look to her right. She's going to air it out.
It's not there.
This pass was intended for Richardson. It's going to fall incomplete. Good coverage by Minnesota secondary. Colhane for Minnesota on the coverage. 2nd down and 10. Minnesota St. Louis knotted at 7 on the last weekend of May. Week 6, the Women's Football Alliance 2026 season on the road to Canton. And Humphrey's going to take the handoff in the backfield. She's going to have nowhere to go. So Humphrey, who's used to rushing, she had 209 yards going into this game with an average of 5.6 yards per carry. She's still got that 5.8 yards per carry this game, but it just seems like she's not getting those big breakouts that she's used to having.
Yeah. Great job, Megan Dixon, breaking down, reading the trajectory, getting the tackle, getting a strong wrap, bringing Humphrey down.
So loss of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 11.
You know, Megan Dixon is actually a soccer player by origin.
Gall takes the snap, throws it to her right, in and out of the hands of Ariana Cook, and brings up 4th down for St. Louis.
Okay, nice job, Dee. Yeah, we see Megan Dixon there in the middle. She was a goalkeeper. We bonded over that. Had a football soccer league, like a 77 league, a bunch of Vixen players, and it was pretty fun. We did well. But yeah, Megan's a solid player.
So Nutsling's in to punt. Condi on the near side. Peterson on the far side to receive. Nutsling. Ooh. This one's going to get a great St. Louis bounce.
Well done.
A great St. Louis bounce indeed.
It's an egg roll. It's like an egg rolling down the White House lawn.
As it's finally going to be stopped by Christy Burkett. So best punt of the night for Nutsling, and it's when they needed it the most.
Well, and it's just incredible that she can get that punt off so quickly because they're snapping 10 yards. You know, when I was punting for the Vixen, 14 yards, and even after, and that was with Michelle Braun, the O-line coach, who could just snap 40 in a row in the exact same spot to 14 yards. But even after Ma was no longer snapping, she's coaching the long snappers. So historically, they're doing at least 12, 13, sometimes 14 yards for punts, and it gives the punter more time to catch, get ready, put the ball exactly where it needs to be on their foot, get the forward spin. And Niceling doesn't have any of that time. Still gets the punt off, gets the forward roll, and I mean that's just great position for the St. Louis Slams.
So Kelly, 1st and 10, deep from their own end, going to hand it off to Couplet. Going to get a couple yards on the play before she's circled down. St. Louis is saying that they stripped the ball.
It's just not happening, man. The run game with Paige anywhere near the middle, even sometimes toward the outside, it's just not happening. It looks like, unfortunately, she's still down.
Look at the replay here.
Yeah,
the ball was taken away before she was down by Yasmin Yandel of St. Louis. So great job by Yandel. So St. Louis is going to take over deep in Minnesota's end.
Dang. Okay, now we see the Vixen training staff. Dr. Beth, been around a long time, fixed my dislocated finger. All right, Paige, you all right, girl? Walk it off.
This game has such great implications in the Massey ratings, as well as Minnesota's currently sitting at number 3 in the Masseys behind Salt Lake and Pittsburgh. Salt Lake, of course, in the American Western region, and Pittsburgh in the National Conference. And then St. Louis down in the 6th spot with Cali and Minnesota, Salt Lake, all 3 American Conference teams in front of them. So if the playoffs were to start today, St. Louis would be on the road at Salt Lake with Cali on the road in Minnesota.
I'm so glad you know what you're talking about, Brian. This stuff just confuses me, and you've got it down pat.
Well, you said you were a punter, and that impressed me, so did you see that? I'm like, oh, okay. All right, you got that. So Humphrey gets the handoff from Gall. There's a flag on the play in the backfield. Gall's going to make her way around the right-hand side. She's going to be in for the touchdown. Going to have to wait and see. Gall's not celebrating, so that tells me that this one's going to be coming back, as it is a holding call on St. Louis.
Yeah, I figured that outside run, it's pretty common to get a holding call if you see a flag rolling. The defender's trying to get off the block, and so it's easy to, okay, you don't want to let him go. Yeah, we see 53 wrapping the arm around, and that's the call. That's where the flag was thrown.
Well, the biggest giveaway there was the fact that Gall watched her running back go into the end zone, didn't even celebrate. So Gall knew immediately that this one was coming back.
Well, good thing they had good field position to start with. They're still on the 30. They still only have 25 yards to go, or 22.
So the ball's at Minnesota 22-yard line after that 10-yard penalty, negating Jada Humphrey's touchdown. Humphrey with 2 rushing touchdowns so far on the season.
You see the Vixen sideline getting the crowd pumped up, getting the noise, the motivation. This is a great crowd tonight. Good weather, good turnout.
So Gall, this time she's going to throw it to her right.
And the catch is made.
This time it's caught by Ariana Cook. She's going to get back the 10 yards lost to the penalty and an additional 2 yards, so it's going to make it 2nd down and 8 for St. Louis.
Oh, Cook did a good job of adjusting. I mean, that had to be quite the knee bend to get down and lower that bread basket, bring that ball in, get underneath it. I mean, that was essentially going to land mid-shin. So you got to really adjust your body and get underneath it to make that catch.
2nd down and 9. 5:20 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Teams knotted at 7. Gall waits for the snap. She's going to hand it off to Humphrey. Humphrey's going to be met in the backfield. She's going to go the wrong way. Great tackle that time by Minnesota's Kaylee Davison.
Hey, that defensive play call, cheers, my friend. That was the right thing at the right time. Those blitzes were exactly what the Vixen needed to stop that run. 2 off the outside edge, met in the middle. Beautiful.
Loss of 3 on the play. 3rd down and 13.
We got Kaylee, Captain Kaylee on the tackle. Captain teaches PE. I wish she was my PE teacher. That'd be fun. I would take her class.
3rd and 13. Humphrey stands to the right of Gall.
Ooh.
And we got motion by Kerry McMahon on the left-hand side, so that's going to be a false start. It's going to push him back another 5 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and 18 for St. Louis.
Okay, you can see the momentum start to shift. The crowd getting loud, the sideline getting excited, and the pressure's on the defense, and they're coming through. Whatever the call was going on, St. Louis jumped. The Vixen did not jump. They stayed disciplined. They did not, play along here, get the jump in, and so they're reaping the rewards from it. We got the slams on 3rd down now. You know, the team wants to see the hold. The crowd wants to see the hold here.
This time the snap is clean. Gall's going to throw it to her left, and it's in and out of the hands intended for Amanda Richardson. And where St. Louis started with such great position on the Minnesota 12-yard line, now they're looking at 4th and 18 from the 20.
I'm telling you, man, it's the momentum shift. Goes out, has plenty of space, watching, head turned, good pass. You know, she just starts to turn before she makes the catch. Just doesn't have that same level of focus.
So St. Louis, Kaylee Nutzling lines up for the field goal attempt. 36-yard attempt. The snap is down. The kick is up. Yeah. And it's good. And for the first time in 2026, St. Louis has the lead on Minnesota.
Wow. I mean, I knew it was going to be a good game. It always is between these two teams. And it's just crazy. You don't know what's going to happen anytime these two teams play. I mean, it is a lot of emotions, a lot of history. So the teams show up differently every time. Home, away, that's a factor. Who's recently retired? Who are the rookies? How athletic are they? How deep's the roster? Every single factor makes these games wild factors. You don't know what the score is going to be. St. Louis and the Vixen.
So Minnesota Lottery, one of the sponsors for the Minnesota Vixen this season. As you look down, and they're trying to choose a row of the game. As the St. Louis Slam have now taken the lead over Minnesota 10-7 with 3:44 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Women's Football Alliance Pro Division Game of the Week. From Kloss Field on the campus of Hamlin University with Dr. Berg, I'm Brian Sweeney. And Kaylee Nutzling broke open the stalemate that we had seen since early in the 1st quarter with that 36-yard field goal attempt.
Dang. What a kick.
And this one's going to be taken from the end zone.
Turn on the Jets. Dang.
And they're going to make it up to about the 19-yard line as Condi takes the ball out.
Here's the thing. When you can get a kick that deep, your team starts to run, the receiving team starts to make blocks, and you've got to hold that block then for 5 seconds, well, maybe not 5, but the 3, that's a long time to hold a block. So then you've got your team more likely to get past the blocks, and as you saw, once the receiver started getting the ball into open space, it was not open. There were 6 slam players right in her face. There's nowhere to go.
So Minnesota 1st and 10 from their 19-yard line.
Let's go, O.
Trailing not only for the first time tonight, but the first time this season. Aaron Kelly takes the snap. Hands it off to Jefferson. Jefferson spins through, back up to the line of scrimmage. Going to pick up 1 on the play. Going to make it 2nd down and 9.
Man, Natalie Calamu, right guard for the O-line, had a pull there. And it was quite the job. I could see her upper body going backwards on that contact. It's tough hits on those pulls. This D-line for the Slam, they're big, they're strong. This is a strong team.
So 2nd down and 9. Final 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Jefferson behind Kelly. Haven't seen Kuplik since she was injured on the last drive. Kelly doesn't see anybody coming after her, and she's going to be sacked in the backfield by Kennedy Daniels.
It's too bad. You got to wonder what was going on downfield. I mean, the coverage must have been stellar because EK had plenty of time to make that throw, and she could make the throw. So I don't know if she was waiting for something to open up, if the coverage just was so tight that it wasn't there. Like right now from this shot, it looks pretty tight and solid because Akinzi as the right tackle is pretty solid on that side. And did hold the block for quite a while.
Loss of 6 on the play. 3rd and 15 for the Vixen. Dvorak wide left. Kelly's going to look. She's going to throw it to Jefferson. Jefferson's got a good block in front of her. She dekes player out, runs into a player head on, but she's going to pick up the yardage loss from the sack, and an additional few is going to bring up 4th down and about 8 yards to go.
Hey, Ray. Hi. Okay, we see a little screen play because we've got O linemen pretty far upfield.
Great tackle that time by Kemp for St. Louis.
Okay, the Vixen will punt for the first time this game.
And there's going to be a flag on the play. Minnesota had too many players in the huddle.
Hey, who's that punting? With Megan Dixon?
Legal substitution on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
That one's going to back Minnesota up some more.
Okay, so we have Megan Dixon in the backfield to punt. As I mentioned, also a goalkeeper. Punting is part of the gig. And we've got a long snap of 12 yards.
High snap. Pulls it down, gets it off.
Runs into the, she had someone hot. I don't know what happened to the blocking on the line just in front of Dixon, but man, she had someone just swipe her leg through on the kick, so it doesn't make it any easier.
So St. Louis with great starting field position as they're going to be starting 1st and 10 from the Minnesota 34-yard line. The temperature hasn't cooled down too much, still 75 degrees here. I mean, what do you add on the field level? 10 degrees, 5 degrees?
You mean less than the start of the game?
No, the field increasing the temperature.
Oh, well, it depends on the sun and how long the sun's been out. Now I would put it more like 5. Now that this, we're getting a little bit of twilight, golden hour if you're a photographer.
St. Louis 1st and 10. Hurd next to Gall. Gall takes the snap. Hurd's going to throw a block.
Ooh.
Gall's throwing it. She's got a receiver down the field. It's going to be just a little bit too far.
Dangerous.
Once again, that intended for Cook, and Cook has had a number of passes thrown her way tonight.
Yeah, Cook's been a factor, for sure. You can't sleep on Cook.
Had 3 completions so far for a total of 30 yards. Thrown to probably an additional 3 or 4 times beyond that.
I mean, she was open. She was deep. She was passer defender. That was dangerous.
And they just announced the attendance here tonight, and it was over 1,000 people for the first time in about 4 years. 1,056 is the attendance they just announced here tonight. So St. Louis fans travel well. Minnesota fans love to come cheer their team on, and you put the two together, and you've got a great night of football. And they are not being disappointed tonight. And this was a bad snap, and she's going to have to pick it up in the backfield. And Jamie Gall's going to lose yardage as it's going to bring up a long 3rd down.
It's a beautiful night. This is a great stadium. Even if I wasn't here with you, Brian, I would still be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, great night of football. The fans have got some of the best entertainment they've seen all season on the field in front of them.
Yep. All right, are we going to get the snap off?
So 3rd and 15 for St. Louis. Hurd stands next to Gall. Trips to her left, including Humphrey. 1 to her right. Time ticking down. Snap is up. Gall throws it to her left. She's got Humphrey that she wants to get it to, and this one's going to fall incomplete. And that's how we're going to end the 3rd quarter. St. Louis Slam 10, Minnesota Vixen 7.
All right, we're turning around. Switch directions.
And there's a great view of that record-setting attendance crowd for this season for Minnesota.
That's a gorgeous crowd.
And there is a flag on the play.
Near the line, it looks like we're about where the line of scrimmage was, so I wonder if it's a holding or, I don't know. We'll find out. These folks know what they're doing. He's got a book out. A little bit black book. Talking to coach. Hey, Q. You know, a bucket hat's probably a nice thing to have when you live in St. Louis. It gets pretty hot there. Nice shade, a little air moving around. It's practical. It makes a statement.
UNS on number 30
4th down.
gave Gordy the bit.
As we saw DeGardner
So
motion.
unsportsmanlike conduct number 30 on the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty, be 4th down.
Maybe an unsportsmanlike call?
I don't know.
Giving him the business. Salt Lake is currently up over the Cali War 16-0. Nevada Storm and Grizzlies game has started as well. And of course, we already talked about how the Pittsburgh Passion defeated the Tampa Bay Inferno by 1 point. Final score 27-6.
Okay. They are punting into the wind for reference of our viewers who are not physically present.
And there's another bad snap.
Oh, wow. Hey!
What a catch right into the hands for Minnesota. And what a great job by Augusta Schweitzer running that ball back.
Oh, man, that's exciting. That is fun. You can just see that sideline going wild. When you have a player, you know, who's a D-line, not normally making a catch, and then, you know, you see that in a big moment of special teams play. So cool. It's so fun. That very exciting. Very exciting. Schweitzer, way to go.
So Minnesota with great field position here to begin the 4th quarter, trailing St. Louis by 3. You don't normally see a lines person with that kind of momentum, but running into the ball. So Kelly drops back. She's going to throw it to her right. And this one almost picked off by Nightsling.
That was really good coverage on the receiver, and Nightsling reading the play, coming over quickly. Wow. Kelly's bringing in the play.
So 2nd down and 10 for Minnesota. in what's probably going to go down as one of the best matchups between these two teams in their long, storied history together. Pitch to Jefferson. Jefferson, left-hand side of the field. She's going to get up a few yards, pick up about 5 on the play before being pushed out of bounds by Smith.
Dude, Sammy Krause's block on that was gnarly. Took their person all the way from the line to the outside. Here we see, right on the edge, the left side of the edge, and just continues. Gets those good hands and strong body, drives the person all the way to the sideline. You gotta love that as a running back.
So 3rd down and 3 for Minnesota. Kelly takes the snap, hands it to Kuplik, who's back in the game. Kuplik going to turn on the left-hand side. She's going to pick up enough yards. Going to see where they spot it. And they're going to give her the first down. First down, Minnesota.
Again, Sammy Krause on the left side makes that outside block. And to be honest, got away with a little jersey tug. But it's been a tough matchup. Number 50 has played pretty hard this game on the left side and the right side. Was up against Kinsey earlier on a couple of different plays.
Fresh set of downs for Minnesota. 1st and 10 from the St. Louis 25-yard line. Kuplik back on the field behind Kelly. Dvorak to her left. This time, Kuplik up the middle, had a block from Anderson. Not going to get very far. As Tay Johnson, defensive tackle for St. Louis, is there to make the stop.
I don't know where 61 came from. I mean, I saw the pull, saw the slice. All right, let's see throw.
2nd down and 10.
Not that anyone put me in charge, but I'm just the hired snark.
Kelly
Hey.
rolls to her left.
Oh,
she's going to keep the ball. She's got room. Great block by Dvorak. Dvorak holding off Kiana Smith, and it allows Kelly to keep the ball and gain about 8 yards on the play. 3rd and manageable for Minnesota.
You know what, Brian? I think that was intentional because Dvorak was blocking pretty early on. She was not getting out for a route. By the time she went through, she's already blocking when she sees Kelly could have thrown. Dvorak was on the block.
Kelly with her 3rd rush of the game, now sitting at 12 yards rushing tonight.
Who knew? I never saw Kelly as a runner. Those plays working, though. And that's the thing, as an offensive coordinator, making those calls, you see what works.
This time, handoff to Kuplik. Kuplik's going to pick up the first down for Minnesota. She's going to be pushed out of bounds by Yasmin Yandel, but Minnesota's going to move the chains once again. First down.
Just snuck that in. Just enough to get the first. And Kuplik comes off.
The 1st and 10 from the 15. This time, Kelly's going to hand it off to Murakami, and she's going to get a hole through the middle.
No, I think that's Bostic.
Bostic, you're correct.
I can't say I've seen Murakami run the ball before. That would be very entertaining. That was a great run. Speed right up the middle. Look at that split, too.
So 1st and goal for Minnesota. Minnesota going no huddle, something we're not used to seeing. This one's going to be handed off to Bostic again. She's going to run straight into the defensive line of St. Louis and be stopped by Brooklyn Devitt. Going to bring up 2nd down after a loss of 2 on that play.
That was ugly. Yeah, just nowhere to go, you know. I like the hurry-up call. Well, in the run before that, I mean, that separation in the middle of the defense. I mean,
so Anderson comes out, Helverson comes in. Kelly enters with the play. 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. St. Louis up over Minnesota 10-7. Women's Football Alliance Week 6 action. Radford in motion. Kelly drops back. Quick little throw towards Dvorak. Dvorak wants the flag, but good coverage that time by Kiana Smith.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So third down and goal. Minnesota's going to use their first timeout of the game with 9:42 remaining. And Berg, this game could really come down to whoever has last possession of the ball on who's going to win this game.
Yeah, yeah, it could. It's so tight. It's so tight in this offense. I'm sure they're getting tired. You know, we see a lot of players sucking down water. Look at that beautiful crowd, very supportive. They want to see this offense put it into the end zone. They've worked so hard for it. Multiple drives now, and you know, I'm sure this crowd's anxious to see some more points put on the board for the Vixen. Yeah, I mean, trying to find a way here. Same as the last drive, just so close to the end zone.
Well, Minnesota's big players are doing it all tonight. Kuplik with 37 yards rushing, Jefferson with 31 on the receiving end, Dvorak with 28, Lundberg with 26. Whereas if you jump over to St. Louis, and almost all but 6 yards of their rushing on the ground tonight have come from Jada Humphrey, whereas Carrie McNahan with 51 yards receiving. So Minnesota dividing it up fairly evenly between those four players, whereas St. Louis was relying mostly on their two.
Right.
So third down and goal. Kuplik behind Kelly. Dvorak far out to the left. She's going to look to her right. She's going to throw it into the ground. She's got to dump the ball. They're saying Lundberg was in the area, or excuse me, Radford was in the area, so it's going to bring up fourth down for Minnesota, and Minnesota is going to send Duraskova out there for a field goal attempt.
It's just hard to make some of those throws on the run. You know, maybe she could have gotten Jackie Radford on the corner route, but to do that, you got to get like a loft on it over the defense, and Kelly had someone in her face and then someone else in between her and Radford, so you got to loft it. It's difficult to do when you're on the run.
22-yard attempt. This one is up, and it's no good. So this one does not go through the uprights. St. Louis will take over on downs and maintain their 10-7 lead.
Well, I didn't see this coming, Sweeney. I should know by now. I should know by now to expect the unexpected. You know what gives me, some sense of foundation, reassurance, seeing Red Bryant on the field. You know, whether she's playing the top of her potential or she's just holding everyone together. I mean, that's part of Red Bryant, is just that spirit of being solid.
So Minnesota going to have to be strong on defense now as Gall hands it off to Humphrey right away, and Humphrey just runs up the field, picks up 5 yards, chips away, gets out of bounds. So Flugel forces Humphrey out of bounds.
Cherry.
Second down and 4 after a gain of 6 by Humphrey. Humphrey continues to get the yardage. Puts her up over 70 now for this game. Clock continues to tick. 8:55 remaining. Minnesota 2 timeouts left. St. Louis with 3. Gall hands it off to Humphrey. Humphrey in the middle. She's going to get up. She's going to pick up the first down, so they're going to move the chains. Clock's going to keep running. Right now, the clock is playing against the Vixen.
Tick-tock. You know, the small running backs can find those tiny little gaps. Oh, and they're going quick.
So again, Gall takes the snap, hands it off to Humphrey. Humphrey's touched in the backfield, but she spins away, is able to leap forward and get back to the original line of scrimmage. So what could have easily been a loss for Jada turns into a no gain. Second down and 10.
Who had that first contact? Was that Tanner? We're doing a little replay. Yeah, it is.
Jocelyn with the first contact
Very
there.
nice. Tenacity. Went around the block, the backside of the block, and then wrapped. Like a slingshot. Okay, let's go, D. If I'm the coach, here's what I'm saying. We're relying on you. All right, you've made some big plays tonight. Now's the time to show up for your team. Yes!
This time, Humphrey's going to be met in the backfield for a loss.
Amber Kaufman, what's up, my friend? Very nice. Nice job. Good work.
Loss of 2 on the play. So third down and 12 for St. Louis.
Nice wrap up. Amber's such a chill person. Her son just graduated recently. She's a mom. We got a lot of moms on the team.
Third and 12. Humphrey, the workhorse of the Slam offense tonight. Gall takes the snap, airs it out to her left. She had an open receiver that time, and Amanda Richardson not able to pull it in. Fourth down.
All right, that's what this team needed. Defense to step up, shut it down, provide some inspiration, energize the offense, and reassure them, hey, we've got your back. You know, you make a couple of mistakes, struggling to get the ball in the end zone. It's cool. We got your back, all right? We're going to get you the ball back. That's what this defense is doing right now. It was like an 8-yard long snap. It was like 8 yards at that point.
So this one's going to be picked up by Minnesota.
It's a great tackle. Quick.
Condi on the return. Minnesota first and 10.
Sarah Lewis.
Home 42.
Sarah Lewis made the tackle. Nice tackle. Quick. Got down there fast.
So 6:07 remaining.
Okay, that's enough time. We got to move the ball, though. A couple long passes, mix it up with a run here and there. I mean, it's there. They could do it. It's there. They got to stay focused. They got to stay positive. Think positive. It's hard when you get in a situation like this. You come off a win, beating St. Louis on their home territory, and then here you are on your home turf, and you're struggling to put the ball in the end zone. That's demoralizing. That's tough. You got to keep your chin up, stay positive, think positive.
And there's some sort of discussion going on with Q and the officials over on the far sideline, right at the 45-yard line.
I don't think they're talking about what to get for dinner. Well, he's jogging back over here. We'll get the snap going.
Coming over to explain to
He's talking to
Coach
Kojo.
Lewis.
Okay.
On the clock there.
Okay, so there was the explanation there. There's been issues with the 25-second and the 40-second play clock all night, so that will be kept on the field now. As this quick pass was intended for Lundberg, and she's not able to pull it in. Gonna bring up 2nd down and 10 for Minnesota. The crowd of 1,068 people getting into it now.
Sam Anderson out at tight end. Outside run.
So this time, ball is pitched
Gotta go fast.
to Bostic. Bostic's going to pick up a couple yards, manages to stay in bounds as long as possible before being pushed out. Going to pick up 6 yards on the play. Going to make it 3rd down and 4. So 3rd down and 4 for Minnesota. Minnesota needing to pick up the 1st down. They hand it again. This time they're going to spin for a 1st down.
Some head contact there, I could tell. It was a hard hit to the helmet. It didn't look intentional.
Jefferson's slow to get up.
Yeah, it didn't look intentional by any means, but there was some head contact there. It's a great run, some good blocks. Sanderson could block a little bit faster, but getting the job done. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Glad she got up pretty quick.
So 5 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. Minnesota past midfield. 1st and 10 from the St. Louis 45-yard line, trailing by 3. Winner of this game, more than likely to host a home playoff game in the 1st week. So this one's going to be a double pitch to Radford. Radford on the right-hand side. She's going to escape a tackle. She's going to pick up a 1st down. She's moving up the sideline. She originally gets hit by Nutzling and manages to get away from that before she's finally taken down by Mary Alpeter, but another 1st down for Minnesota.
Yeah, that's the Jackie Radford play that we've been waiting for, to see that speed come out. Great timing on the snap, great timing on the pitch, to let Jackie Radford get her boots on fire and speed down that field.
So 1st and 10 from Minnesota. From the 18-yard line. Radford in motion. They do the same play again. Radford's going to turn on her left. She's going to escape a tackle. Only going to pick up about 4 this time. Clock's going to keep moving.
It's a little bit slower of a run. But let me say,
Zaria Johnson on the stop.
Those plays are working out because Marissa Akinzi is making those blocks on the outside.
So after the gain of 6 by Radford's rush, makes it 2nd down and 6. 3:30 remaining in the game. Minnesota, having missed a field goal, trails St. Louis by 3. This time, it's a pitch to the other side, and Bostic's going to run into a hard wall.
Yeah, that secondary is triggering downhill pretty quick. 3 of them ready to make that tackle, basically at their line of scrimmage. I think they gained 1 yard on the play.
Gain of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 4. Minnesota moving in the right direction. Can still pick up a 1st down as the clock continues to tick. Snap is up. Hands it off again. Looking to move the pile. Only going to pick up a yard. Going to bring up 4th down.
You know, I'm not trying to curse anything, and I almost hesitate to say it, but the snaps this game have been spot on. I don't think we've had a bad snap from Taylor Fox tonight. Maybe one.
Now they're having some sort of issue with the game clock as well, that they're trying to figure out what the official time should be.
Ay, Dios mío. You know, it's unfortunate. No one can help this, right? Like, this stuff just happens. But it can really zap the energy from a game, especially when you're in this highly important moment of a game where
Tell her
the clock is
2:30 on
ticking
my whistle
down,
unless we go up
apparently
there.
ticking down inappropriately, but it's ticking down regardless. The Vixen have to score here. They have to. They've got to get this through if they want to win.
So Duraskova out to attempt the tying field goal. 36-yard attempt last time was no good. This time, about a 29-yard attempt.
So I don't know if folks at home can hear that, but a scoreboard connectivity issue.
Oh. Bad snap. She's going to have to get to the 1st down if they want to keep the ball. Not going to get there. Didn't quite turn in time. So St. Louis once again taking over on downs. Lundberg with an opportunity there, not quite able to turn the corner. So now's where Minnesota is going to have everything possible on defense go their way. With 2 timeouts remaining, 2:09 is what I'm being told is the official time left of this game. As I look up at the clock and it says 2:89. So ball handed off to Humphrey. Humphrey left-hand side. She's going to step out of bounds. Going to pick up a few yards on the play.
289. That's like saying February 30th.
And this should take us to the 2-minute timeout. As we look at the rest of the league right now, DC Divas up big over the Cincinnati Cougars currently, 56-28. And the Salt Lake Wildcats are up over the Cali War, 24-0. And of course, after 2 failed field goal attempts, St. Louis still leads Minnesota here, 10-7. We already talked about Pittsburgh Passion's defeat of the Tampa Bay Inferno 27-6.
So close.
And the Nevada Storm have yet to put up any points in their game against the River City Grizzlies. So Berg, this is all going to come down to, can Minnesota force St. Louis to a 3-and-out on this possession and get the ball back?
You know, this is when you need an ace dice in play. You need someone to decide, I'm going to get this ball. I'm going to get it in the air, and I'm going to take it back to the end zone. Pick 6. They need a pick 6. The defense is what has kept this momentum, kept the hope alive, kept the team together. And to have someone show up, you know, if I was going to choose someone who has that type of athleticism and drive, I'd say Britt Peterson. Can we get Britt Peterson a little farther down? You know, right now they're playing safety, so it's kind of hard to get those interception, pick 6 type plays.
Well, and there was a pick 6 in the game earlier this year between these teams when Kerrigan Gam got the pick 6 for St. Louis, and she is not here playing this evening. So There are pick six that happen when these two teams meet, and Minnesota looking to get one right now. As Humphrey gets the ball handed off to her, and she's going to be met in the backfield, and she's going to lose yardage on the play as she's taken back to the original line of scrimmage with a great stop that time by Jocelyn Tanner. Minnesota uses their second timeout. We're going to leave them with one on the night. So 3rd down and 10 for Gall, Humphrey, Richardson, and the rest of the St. Louis Slam. Minnesota looking to stop them, hoping to get the ball back one more time so they can push it into the end zone and have their first ever season sweep of St. Louis. Snap is up. Handed to Humphrey. Humphrey back to the original line of scrimmage, but she's going to lose yards. Not going to be able to pick up the first down. Minnesota's going to use their 3rd and final timeout.
Stopping the clock. Yeah, trying to hold as much time on the clock as they can to give to their offense. Yeah, Humphrey found a little bit of a cutback, got another 1 yard. It just wasn't enough for the first down. And, you know, the Vixen on special teams, you know, let's say, you know, here we're preparing for a punt and the long snaps have not been consistent, not been that great for St. Louis. So if special teams can take advantage of that, continue to put that pressure on, and you know, maybe get another special teams touchdown, you know, as well. Block this punt, grab the ball, bring it in.
As just out a camera shot now, Britt Peterson waits for the punt. At about the 47-yard line.
I mean, anything, any opportunity, that's what
Knightsling,
needed.
high punt. This one's going to benefit Minnesota. Going to take a St. Louis bounce before this one's downed by Jennifer Tussey.
All right, that sends some hope. That sends some possibility.
So Minnesota 1st and 10, game on the line. Just about a minute and a half remaining. I'm Brian Sweeney with Dr. Berg. And Berg, we said who possessed it last was probably going to win the game. It's up to Minnesota to make us right.
It is, and I imagine, you know, it started to cool down now. It's all or nothing, ball out, and this would be a great time to have a hurry-up offense. And I imagine at this point, Connor's very familiar with what the base defense is for St. Louis. When you have hurry-up calls, there's no time to call a defensive call. You just go to your base. You go, you know, whatever your base is.
So Kelly drops back, looks to her left. She's going to throw it. She's got a receiver open. That was Anderson. Just a little out of Anderson's reach.
And you can see everyone's hurrying back to the line of scrimmage, trying to get it done fast.
Devitt on the coverage brings up 2nd down and 10.
It's a good time to have 2 plays ready to go.
Second down and 10. Kelly drops back. Another pass on the left-hand side. once again intended for Anderson. Anderson not able to pull the ball in. It's a quick third down.
Yeah, a little low. You can hear the stands trying to hold on some hope. Building, they're building a little bit, trying to inspire.
Third down and 10 from the 37. Kuplik behind Kelly. Pitches it to Kuplik. Kuplik, she's going to escape one tackle. She's going to move up. She's going to step out of bounds. Going to pick up about 3-4 on the play.
Someone's spicy. All right, a little chit-chat going on in the trenches. And
fourth down and 4.
We see the O-line helping Calamu back up a little bit. So hard to see what happened to motivate that. Trying to get everyone to keep their cool, focus on the game. Ready, break.
So fourth down and 4 for Minnesota. Need to convert the first down. Pitches it to Kuplik. Kuplik, right-hand side. She escaped. She's going to pick up the first down. She's going to move the chains. Forward progress. First down, Minnesota.
Got the first. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. There we go. The ball is placed. They're ready to go.
Minnesota having to hurry. Clock is ticking. Flag on the play. This one's going to be false start. Not everybody was set.
Let's go down to 55 seconds, Jim.
Okay. Yes.
Full start on the offense, so 11 players were not set. That carries a 10-yard runoff. To remain first down.
Okay.
Clock will start on my ready.
So first and 15. Just about a minute remaining.
Yeah, this is when you hit your playmakers.
Penalty's going to back Minnesota up to the 30-yard line.
Whoever has shown that they can be the hero, that's who you go to right now. Give them the ball. Let them be athletic.
Dvorak, lone receiver to the left. Kuplik behind Kelly.
It's a tense,
pair of receivers to the right.
Tense sideline right
Clock
now.
is ticking. Final minute. Throws it to her right. Pass is complete. Steps out of bounds.
Smart.
Lundberg pulls that one in.
Made the connection. Got out of bounds. Stopped the clock. Let everyone collect their heads.
Gain of 6 on the play. Second down and 9. Half the crowd on their feet, half the crowd biting their nails.
It's a lot of nails.
$10,000. Unless they're biting their toes.
Oh, God.
Second and 9. 48 seconds remaining. Kelly drops back. She's going to throw it to her left. She's got Dvorak. Not enough for Dvorak. Pass is going to fall incomplete. Third down and 9.
It's good pass protection. I think it was Kuplik that picked up a block in the backfield.
Cooksey on the coverage for St. Louis.
Cooksey. Great name. I mean, Slam's hanging in there. They're staying focused. Oh.
Going to be a free play. Dvorak looks.
Almost had it.
So there was an offsides on St. Louis, so Kelly, knowing she had a free attempt.
5-yard penalty.
That was their nose guard, number 61. Okay.
So 3rd down and 4.
Or you can see a little more energy here in the offense. Feeling that momentum.
Kelly, snap, pitch, Kuplik. Kuplik, they have her shirt. She's going to move a few yards forward. Going to end up losing a yard on the play. 4th down. Minnesota's got to hurry as the clock is ticking.
Oh, Kuplik
21 seconds remaining here.
having a hard time getting up. And we've got the field goal unit out. And get it done quick. Oh, very high snap.
And the kick is blocked. Picked up by Minnesota, is going to run forward. But the clock is going to expire, and the St. Louis Slam come into Minnesota and defeat the undefeated Vixen 10-7.
Very exciting for the St. Louis Slam. A lot of celebration. It was earned. They earned it. They showed up.
And what a game it was. It all came down to the special teams for the Minnesota Vixen as you look at this last attempt here to tie it. And Nutsling's able to get in there and block Duraskova's kick. So Duraskova had 1 kick miss, 1 kick blocked, and 1 where the snap was just off. So 3 attempts for Minnesota to tie this game and possibly take the lead with special teams tonight. And none of those times was it able to be successful, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, Nutsling brought the pressure. I think it was Brooklyn Devitt that actually had the block, who was coming from the opposite side. I mean, they were both in there.
I mean, what a game. We knew coming into this game that this game was going to be a fun game to watch, and it definitely was. Plenty of fans out there watching wanted to see Minnesota win. Plenty of fans out there watching wanted to see St. Louis to win. Not everybody can be happy, but I think we can all agree on this. Best game that the Women's Football Alliance has had thus far this season ranks right up there with the Pittsburgh-DC game earlier this year.
And the Tampa Bay Pittsburgh game going on tonight, that seemed pretty hotly contested, back and forth, very close at the end. So I look forward to seeing that game after the fact. Here we've got everyone shaking hands, a lot of old acquaintances and whatnot, and then you've got some animosity going on as well. But overall, these teams respect each other, no matter how fat or how fierce and tense it can get between players and during plays. These teams have respect for each other.
So your final score, St. Louis Slam 10, Minnesota Vixen 7. For Dr. Berg, everybody out there in our crew, the directors, the producers, the camera operators, the graphic people back at Fan Club, we want to thank you for joining into this Women's Football Alliance Week 6 action. I'm Brian Sweeney, and we'll see you soon.
This group right here, all around, is football. We're all football players. Y'all are football players, okay?
Down. Contiello's going to go straight ahead. Got a receiver caught, touchdown. They're back by him. What a catch. Houdini acts. Sideline, she puts it on the tackle. They've got one for the
You know the moments, the feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight.
That's something.
The click, the shift, the boom, and you're there. The mess becomes a map, and you call it art, or science, or code, because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
Yo, Jay, what you say?
to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Pittsburgh TD.
The athletes, they're the backbone of this whole league, and they're just amazing people. They've got amazing stories.
Barrett in the pattern, they're looking for, able to bring that one in, Brianna Barrett. My goodness.
I never thought I'd be here. I feel like the best things in life are things that come to you unexpected. So it's been a great journey for me.
I know this is where I'm supposed to be.
Caught touchdown, Jada Meister.
Essentially is true of breaking barriers, right?
She could go all the way, and she does. Touchdown.
We're shattering the glass ceiling.
Great pass up in the air. Touchdown.
All of the women role models that we look up to are all women who did things that were not expected.
They realize they're pioneers. They realize that the trail that they leave is going to be a path that a young girl can follow.
It gives you hope. They believe in themselves, I believe in them, and Frank will believe in all of us, so it just goes with the territory.
One team.
Yo, 40 years is crazy.
Sight, seen, sight, seen.
You know the moments, the feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight.
That's something.
The click, the shift, the boom, and you're there. The mess becomes a map, and you call it art, or science, or code, because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
Guess who's back?
Shit.
Back again.
My God, he stabbed her! Not her! My pronouns are they, them. He stabbed them!
We back.
There's a serial killer on the loose.
Hello, Tuesday.
I have been preparing for this for years. Hello, Mother. You look like shit. Should we hug? I really want to, but I'm a Republican now, so I'm supposed to be racist.
Oh, girl, I think all white people are racist anyway. Come here.
Okay. Oh.
Hey there, we heard tell of a Halloween party. We're here to drink, play bad music, do some half gay shit.
Why just half gay?
Sink. Stop smiling!
Run, bitch, run!
Mom, Santa gave me a severed arm. Be sure to thank him. What the?
Controversy, 'cause it feels so empty.
without me.
Somebody help! Help!
Bitch, we on break. So you handle yours. I'll be right over here eating my falafel and my pork rinds. Bitch.
Guess who's back?
And as we can see, the future of technology is with us. You might be thinking, Doc, this is truly amazing. And we got.
Hey, is the projector ready? Come on, time for a team meeting.